All right, we'll give folks a few minutes, or not a few minutes, just a sec to make sure everyone is in. And every team should have somebody who has the link ready. I guess you can choose if you want to play your game and talk about it, or if you want me or Momin to play it and you can talk about it. Some games it's easier to have someone else play, some it's easier for you to explain. Um, we have at least 13 games to get through. It's really, really awesome how many folks came out tonight. So, thank you all for coming despite the weather conditions and everything else. It's been really, really awesome to see games come in over the weekend. Um, I think Moment still needs a second to get set up, but we can get going with our first team. We're going to be letting folks in. If you're just arriving, maybe someone in the chat can tell other people, like, hey, get your link ready, if they're not sure what's going on and they're missing this first 5 minutes of the call. But yeah, do we have anybody who wants to go first? Any teams? I don't know if you can speak up
Uh,
or if you have to use the chat. Let me
my
see.
team can go
Yeah.
first.
All right. Do you want to play? Do you want to have one of y'all stream the game or do you want us to stream it?
I'll have y'all stream it. Uh,
Okay. There it is.
and I just posted the link.
Got it.
I'm trying to see if everyone is in the chat. I see Galen. Yeah, my teammates were Galen, Tori, and Liz, and myself, Evie. Um, yeah, so our game, we took the theme textual and ended up uh sorry, I was looking at the chat. Ended up doing something that involved like text on a page, perhaps literal text. Um, and Yeah, so I don't know if there's anything that Galen wants to cover since Galen took kind of the lead on the programming for this one, and had some interesting like an interesting direction to take the programming, I thought. So I'd love for him to talk a bit about that. Um, but the game is a uh, kind of like a cross between a typing game and a survivors like game. So you're a
Okay.
librarian with all of these enemy mobs coming at you, and
Oh,
words start to pop up. And so when you type in the words, they attack the enemies associated with the words.
oh, cool.
Um, thanks, workshop. Uh, does Galen, would you like to talk a bit about the programming or um
Sure, I can. Yeah, so I had a silly idea since we're doing something kind of survivors like I've had this idea in a while for using the um rendering server in Godot directly rather than using like the nodes that you normally use. And so I created a thing where it basically just renders out each sprite individually, moves them around, all using stuff. It's basically the same thing that the nodes do, just via code. And it allowed me to do stuff like pack stuff in. And I had just visually, I could hit up about to 20,000 sprites without slowdown. But turns out that was kind of overkill, and I probably shouldn't have done it. But it was a fun experiment.
Yeah, and I want to call out the all of the character designs were done by Liz. This was their first game jam ever. So yeah, a round of applause
Yeah,
for Liz. I think
congrats.
they did an amazing job. And then Tori did the background and so did all of these bookshelves. As you can see, there's also a jelly man in there in the background. And
Oh, yeah.
Tori also, you can't hear the any of the audio, I don't think, with the stream, but Tori picked out and tracked down all the different sort of sound effects that we used, and I composed a little bit of original music for the background.
You did really good.
I would say, Val, would we be able to reshare with sound?
Yeah, I was about to say, do I have to start a new
Sometimes I
sharing?
find it easier if you just restart the
Okay.
share, and then there's like a share with sound option on that
I hope it's not too
first
loud.
window.
Oh, share sound. I see.
Yeah.
Okay, can you hear it now?
I don't think so.
Maybe refresh the page.
Yeah, let's see.
Oh, okay.
It
People
looks
have.
like the page might be muted.
I can hear it on my
Oh,
end.
Oh,
Let me see. Yeah, it's not muted. You can see
okay,
the.
sorry.
Yeah, it's cool. That's usually the reason. Let's see.
yeah. Well, if folks want to hear it, folks can play it.
I really want to make
Yeah.
sure I don't get that. Let me see.
Yeah, sometimes I find it easier to just stop the share and then restart the share, and that will often kick the sound on.
I will try that here. It
Yeah.
would be good because we
It's
have some
always hard to go
new folks. I
first.
don't want to make sure. I don't want everyone to get their stuff to be shown. Here.
Pretty sure you have to hit the checkbox to enable sound when you're sharing your screen.
Yeah, I did that the second time. So okay, share sound, content only, application window. Maybe that's why. Let me see. Slide. Uh, okay, let's try this. Can you all hear it?
No, I can't.
I think I hear it just very faintly.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, I see. Yeah, if I turn my
I'm here
volume.
now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to have it not pick up on my headphones on my mic. There we go. I'll let it play for a sec so everybody can see. Does anybody else on this team have anything they want to say? I think for the rest of them, we're going to be a little more like, okay, everybody say what you did and if it's your first jam or not. But if any of y'all have anything else you want to add, or things that were challenging, or things that were really fun, or any of the inspiration for these awesome little critters.
We went for like a storybook theme for the enemies. So Liz drew like a griffin and a werewolf and a dragon.
Cool.
Yeah, and it was neat. We did a little bit of an in-person on Saturday for most of the group. So it was nice to kind of like secondary location jam.
Yeah, totally. Totally. It's cool that y'all had the initiative to do that. It would have been nice if we could have had the in-person stuff, but the people who really wanted it, I think, made it work anyway, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna let myself lose. Is there a lose state?
No, there's not.
Oh,
College.
so I can't lose. Awesome.
You can
All
only
right.
win.
Yeah, you
This
can only-
is Godot.
Yeah, this was made using Godot, which 4.6 came out today.
Yeah, very exciting.
Developers rejoice. So, yeah.
All right. Awesome job. I think we'll move on to our next team. Let me double check the chat and see what people are saying.
All right, next team will be Natalie.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Natalie Parisi. You'll probably hear my kids at some point during this. Apologies. My husband Nick and I did this jam together. This is our first jam in like 13 years. We did one a long time ago, Ludum Dare. But we've been kind of trying to make indie games together for a couple of years now. We've got a couple games out, so trying to live the dream, and thought it would be fun to just try to make a quick something to keep our creativity going. I'm not on camera, so my Nick is here. He's waving, but I don't have the camera. Okay, I'm gonna try to share my screen. Let's see. So we made this in Unity, and we decided before the jam we wanted to do first person, just because we've never done a first person game before. So that kind of put some constraints on us. And I don't know, is the sound coming through at all from the game?
I think
I
I can.
think so.
Okay. So it was nice that Sam Eng talked. He mentioned devil daggers, because that kind of came up in our mind while we were brainstorming, and we were thinking about what can we do with texture, and so we wanted to have this shooting cards, the mechanic where each card is a different texture, and Nick kind of came up with this idea of like a rogue in WoW where you've got combo builders and combo finishers. And so the steel cards are the builders, and then the explosion-y cards are the finishers, and you get oh, Nick's gonna play while I talk. That would be helpful. So the little crystals at the bottom are your combos that you're building, and then if you use the explodey looking card, you do a bigger explosion depending on how many combo crystals you build. And if you get through a few waves of enemies, then a bigger scary guy comes up. If you've ever played the game Riven, that's what the little enemy shapes were inspired by, the gold domes. And then there's another guy that's inspired by another shape in the game. Just I was trying to think of things that are scary, and a lot of things in Riven scare me for some reason. They're like really aggressively shaped architecture. And then for the audio, we used the audio safari that you guys uploaded. That was so cool. Just kind of messed around in Audacity for that to try to make some stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I did the 3D stuff, 3D modeling and the sound, and Nick did all the programming in Unity. And there's my kiddos watching. So yeah.
All right, that is awesome. It was just the two of y'all working on this.
Yep, working where we could.
Cool. It's cool that you got to do a jam after so many years.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, the little bug guy is the one in the chat was saying. Very good.
Did you make that guy, Mama? Yeah, we did.
Cool. If anyone has questions, feel free to unmute yourself
Yes.
and ask.
Yes.
Why did you choose to name it Monstera?
So Nick really wanted to start a project, just get like the files ready before the theme was announced, and he can't start a project without a code name. So we were just trying to think of something, and I was just thinking about our house plants in the house, and we took Monstera, and then we ended up making a game with monsters in it. So yeah.
What did you use from the Audio Safari library?
I used the the payphone little flap sound for the steel cards, and then let's see what else. It's hard because I manipulated them so much. It's hard to remember what they were before. I think I used like the kind of wood, something like a trash can or something like that.
Cool. Fun.
Right. Any more questions, comments?
Do y'all want to do more first person stuff? Yeah.
I think so. I think I'd like to do. I always want to make like a walking sim, like a puzzle game, like Riven or something like that. And then we played a lot of the quote unquote friend swap games in the past few years that have come out, and those are super fun. And we've our previous most recent release is a multiplayer games. We've got some multiplayer networking experience, and it'd be fun to make something like that. So I'd like to explore more.
My comment is that I really had fun recording the payphone sounds at the Audio Safari, and I'm glad that someone's gotten some use out of it.
Yes, they were super helpful. All the sounds were great. It was fun to like. Again, on Sam's talk, he was kind of talking about having some constraints to work within. So I was like, I'm going to make all of our sound effects just using the Safari and see what I can come up with. So it was fun to have that just as my only resource.
I'm curious, what was your initial vision for the game, and how close did the final game come to your original idea?
We definitely didn't get as far as we wanted to. I'm sure we all feel that way. We wanted to have like lots of different card types that all were connected to a different texture and did a different effect to like manipulate the enemies, and like a snare and a gravity orb kind of a thing. And yes, 6 M&Ms, and like there's another monster model that we didn't even get in there. So grander visions and how we ended up.
Ooh, definitely post your other monster model in our Discord. I want to see.
Will do.
All right. If anyone has a question, speak now. Otherwise, we're going to move on to number 3 in the queue.
That's going to be Ryan Bass.
All right. Thank y'all for your game. Round of Zoom applause for y'all. We move on to Ryan's game. Ryan's team's
Well,
game.
yeah. So I was on a team with Ryan, Josh, and Blythe. If you guys are in the chat, they're gonna talk about what they did as well, so they can go off mute and we can kind of jam on it. We have Mousy Maps is our game. It's a physical game that our group was really excited about. And we ended up making a paper and pencil game for 1 to 4 players. To kind of start, we were liking the textural idea, so we crumpled up a piece of paper and uncrumpled it. And I think Josh or Blythe had the idea of like, oh, what if we like make a map making game? But it was like too random and too noisy. So eventually we were like, oh, like what if we folded it and like you can pass the paper around and fold it that way. So that's what we landed on is like a map making folded paper game. So you play different cards to move around the map, and you're trying to complete different quests with these nobles on the side to earn their favor and survey the land, and you score points for surveying different regions and things like that. Super fun to work on. Do you guys have anything you want to add to like the kind of intro bit?
I would just like to share with the class that when we first heard about the theme, I think the first thing I said was we're cooked because I was like, oh well, we're a physical cave, so we can't do anything with sound. And no, we're not going to be having this thing in person, so no one's going to be able to touch what we do. But I think we pulled it together.
So this is a single player. It plays 1 to 4 players, so you can play it on your own, just see what kind of score you can get in your map, or you can play. We played some had 2-player play tests. We haven't tested 3 or 4 players yet, but the expectation is that each person starts on a different edge of the paper, so you can get 4 players, and it worked really well. We showed it to friends, and they all liked it. People who didn't like games as much. I know Josh sent it to one of his friends, the rules recently, and he's able to play without our instructions, which is always a big thing for games, which video games enforce the instructions. Board games, you have to make it so the player can figure it out as they go. And so we have a whole bunch of different play tests, and it was fun play testing. I have this whole stack of folded up papers in different ways, and super fun. And here's some of the references that we kind of pulled together as we were talking about things and bringing up different games. So at the core, it's kind of dots and boxes, and just connecting different grids up like that. Josh, I know you know a couple of these games. Do you want to talk about this at all? Like how we kind of came across this?
So similar to dots and boxes, there's a bit of like Carcassonne in it where like you're claiming areas and you're able to actually like deny people's like what they're trying to build or like claim. And Splendor, we took the idea of like the nobles that like you are trying to court. In ours, they're people who are wanting to buy our map that you're making. And then Mouse Ritter, we were talking about running that game, and we were trying to come up with like a cute animal to base this on. And we're like, oh, they're mice. They're running around this island. It's great.
And do you want to keep going?
Yeah, I can talk about this. So after we wrote everything out in a Google Doc, we pulled everything into Affinity, and it made it easy to actually both use like work on layout and art all at the same time. I'm used to using Adobe at work, and trying out Affinity actually made it a lot easier to just change things on the fly.
Yeah, I'm trying to go to the next. My laptop is back up there.
I also used an art program that was not Adobe. It was Clip Studio Paint. I bought the old version in like 2020, and you can take it from my cold dead hands. It's a really great program. I would advise people get that if they don't want to pay the subscription service for Adobe. I know they have a subscription version. Don't use it. Get the old one.
Yeah, these are some of the pieces of art that we made for it.
Yeah, it was really exciting about the art. Josh did the one that looks really good and neat in the bottom right corner. It's beautiful. And so we decided that we wanted to put art inside of the instruction manual itself. And so I like threw out some sketches and I was like, guys, I don't have time to make this any more refined. And then we decided that it really fit with the theme of like, oh, you're sketching out stuff on this map and trying to like, develop stuff as you go. So we kept it like that.
Yeah, I'm just showing off how we kind of integrated it into the rule book and got to use some of our art that way. Um, and we can go over the rules more later if we have time. This was yours, Josh, I think, or unless you want me to talk about it at all.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you can talk about because like you did a good chunk of this too.
Sure. So we kind of developed this abstract game of like capturing regions and playing cards, and okay, like the different suits score different ways. And then we started looking for how we could layer on narrative on top of that. Kind of Sam was talking about the different textures and like kind of layering of, well, I have this thing, how do I really maximize it? So, you know, our map is kind of like this hills and valleys and like lots of kind of topology going on. So it's like, okay, obviously it's like, you know, it's a map making game. And you know, keeping it simple. We originally wanted to do like kind of tarot cards and all this stuff, but we really consolidate it into this like very condensed experience. And then at the end, once we had that, really thinking about like explaining how things, why things were the way they were. It's like, okay, like originally we had this concept of like you're building roads, but it's like, no, you're a cartographer, like you're exploring this map. So you're finding the roads of the people that were already here, and kind of just tying those together. The narrative kind of helped us give some direction to the mechanics, and the mechanics really like how it worked is like, oh yeah, obviously this is like, you know, how a map making thing works. So that was an exciting back and forth. Uh, yeah. Did you have anything you want to say about that, Josh? Or
No, I mean that's exactly what happened.
okay.
And then like we kind of fell into narrative, like going from that abstract game.
And yeah, so we can kind of go through our highlights. I'm gonna like the physical procedural map was really cool because like you're folding it, you don't know what's gonna come out every time. So a couple times you're like disappointed. I like, you know, made a new map, but it's different every time, and you can even flip it over to have a rematch if you ever want. It's the same map. Very few components. It's just like a deck of cards and like some markers and pens and stuff, and very like light rules as well. Like I really like things that are easy to teach and get into very quickly. I really like artifacts of play, which this game has. So you get to keep your map. Like I have a whole stack of completed maps here that I can look back on, which is really fun. And playable solo, like having this be a remote jam and wanting to be able to distribute it easily to people, having it be like playable with one or two people, it was really important. And I'm really glad that we were able to do that in a fun way. I've enjoyed playing it, you know, a couple times already. So
I really liked being able to put my degree to work because I got an education degree. And so I did a lot of the editing of turning that Google Doc into words that better described how to play the game. I didn't do any of the layout. That was all Josh. But I was really excited because making instructions for physical games is hard because in a video game, the coding won't allow someone to really mess up. I think it was Ryan who said this, but the coding will only allow you to mess up so bad. But in a physical game, people have free will. So you have to explain things really, really well. I'm also excited because I think the maps that you make from this game can be used for TTRPGs. So I think it'd be fun to play this game and then play Mouse Ritter.
Yeah, and I really like how cozy it came out. And like I said, there's actually at the surface, it doesn't look like there's much like player interaction, but in some of the play tests, you're able to like steal people's like territories, and you know they just didn't see that coming. It's kind of fun like that. And then I'm also excited because like you can take this game camping with you. It's, you know, I always go camping with like a deck of cards, and all you need is a piece of paper and a pen. So
yeah, and I'll just flip back to the rule book real quick. I know we might be kind of over. I don't want to waste too much time or use up too much time, but if we're done, we're done. If there's any questions, we can yeah.
What inspired the mouse aesthetic?
That was Mouse Ritter just kind of came up. We were talking about games that we enjoyed and role-playing games, and Josh was saying he runs a game of this pretty often. So we got thinking about mice, and eventually we were like, oh, what are we gonna put on there? I suggested bugs, but then someone else was like, oh no, mice. And it's like, oh yeah, that's just much cuter.
I also wanted mice because they're easier to draw, less limbs.
I had a quick question. Is there an opportunity to play this game with fellow RVA game jammers at the next board game night?
That's definitely what we're going to be doing. Josh and I were actually talking about that. So I definitely want to use that. And for all the people on this call, again, I did the audio safari. I also run board game nights. And it's a fun way to get to meet people and play games with people who are really excited about games. And I'm going to try to do some physical game play testing. I have some games, I'm sure other people do, and kind of get a community going for that. So definitely look out for that.
Nice. Yeah, come to that meeting. I haven't been to one yet, but I definitely will to the next one just to play
Sounds
this.
good. We look forward to it.
I know a couple of y'all have done video game jams before, and I know one of y'all mentioned like, oh, rule setting is different for a video game and a board game. But were there any other issues or interesting challenges or things that were easier or harder doing a board game jam versus a video game jam?
Okay, you can go ahead, Blythe. I see you on mute.
I think that playtesting was a little bit harder because in terms of getting two people playtesting, I live alone. So I had to venture out into like the storm to get someone to play the game with me. And I couldn't like give it to anyone. I guess theoretically I could have given the instructions, but until the instructions were done, there was nothing I could do to make other people play the game.
Coming from a coding background, like coding for work, I'm trying to avoid coding as much as I can in the game jams. And this was really fun because I just got to spend the whole time play testing rules instead of like trying to implement things and see if make it work there. It's like, okay, like let's just try a different set of rules this time, like real quick, like 15 minutes in. And so that was really exciting and fun to do in a jam setting where it's all supposed to be very fast and rapid anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of like when we'd play test, like something would happen, and then when we'd all get back together, be like, okay, hey, this thing happened. What? How can we fix it real quick? Or is there something to do here? Like players landing on the same spot. I think we ended up being like you can trade hands or whatever.
And that was like a 5-minute decision. Like, oh yeah, if you land on the same spot, what should they do? They should trade hands. All right, done. It's not like a hour-long, endeavor to implement that. So that was fun.
Is my mic working?
I think so. All right, thank you. This was Mousy Maps. Check it out. Post your maps and your high scores in the Discord. I look forward to seeing that. Thank you.
All right,
Awesome.
awesome.
Thank you, Ryan. Next is other Ryan Sakalo.
Oh God. Okay. I just shared my screen here.
Yep.
Or yeah, there we go. So as Moment said, I am one of the several Ryans we have. I made a game called Drifting. The game is pretty generous. The original idea was to kind of get the texture of the city. Instead, I only managed to get a park. So dear God, that sound. It's only a minute 30 seconds each time. The idea was to try to like get randomly generated like encounters to kind of mimic something akin to. I used to work at the Patrick Henry building, so like going out to like Capitol Square and seeing the people protesting and whatnot. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to really make a lot of interesting stuff, so there's just a lot of terrible squirrel noises. And I don't know what else to say. If you want to check it out, it's going to be in the link, but I'm going to stop sharing because I cannot stand the sound of my own voice here. But real quick, the one thing I do want to say is if you're afraid of your idea not being as good as some of the great ones we're having today, don't be afraid to just throw the thing out there. You'll be happy that you got it done. So with that said, any questions?
Yeah, so those noises that you were talking about, how'd you make those?
Playing the sound on Wikipedia, then trying to mimic it with my voice, and then throwing it into using, I think, the built-in Microsoft recorder thing, and then throwing it into Audacity so I could stretch it out. Unity has built-in, it's called audio sources. It's a component, and even in a 2D space, if you set it to 3D audio, you can set a range so that'll get louder or dissipate as you walk up to something. So it's a really easy way of doing something like this. And in terms of just generating where the birds would be, each chunk of the park has a what do you call it? It has like several types of chunks that it can pull into and spawn, and then the sound sources and everything else are already built into it.
Ryan, my team got a really big laugh out of one of the encounters we got in your game.
Which one was that? Because I found out several of them actually don't work.
It was Sonic.
So for anybody interested in that, because I for some reason cannot seem to get it to actually generate when I do it, I will, like I did last jam, post on GitHub, and the horrible art will be there. So y'all can have fun with that.
Yeah, I just want to say I had a great time like walking around this like 2 or 3 times, just trying to see everything. Like I was cracking up at some of the stuff. I loved this game.
Facts.
Hey, just to confirm, did you end up getting the achievement where you make all of the audio through your mouth sounds? Is that what you were going for?
That was what I was going for, but there's only 2 soundtracks in the game because the rest of them weren't finished. So yeah, that awful squirrel noise and the awful cardinal sound are both me.
Heck yeah. Put voice actor on your resume.
Oh yeah, totally. Exactly. But yeah, if that's it, thank you all.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan. Definitely gonna have to play that later. Yeah, by the way, post all your itch links in the local Game Jam channel as well. Just so later we can go in and add it to our collection. Okay, so after them, we have John from Team 9.
Howdy, and I should have a few other folks with me. If you guys want to introduce yourselves, now would be the time.
Howdy, I'm Tanner. I'm one of the programmers for Team 9.
Michael, I did some programming and UI work for Team 9.
Hello, Riley. I did music and sound.
Howdy, I'm Laurel. I did some of the level design and some of the programming.
Yeah. And I did the art and writing, and this is my first game jam, actually, so that was fun. And we made a game called Grime Fighter, which I think we want the mods to play. If you guys have the link, I don't. Sorry. Team 17, yeah.
Let's see, Grime Fighter.
So we can repost the link. Sorry.
I got it.
Oh, cool.
Let us see. Is it single player?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Go here, share sound. Can you hear it?
We can hear it. Oh, there it is. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
this does have a little introductory cutscene, so yeah.
Wow, the style.
But Riley, yeah, did all the music. It's inspired by Digimon and whatnot. Oh, you got the little opening cutscene if you. Might be a bit lagging on my end. It's fine. It's just a set dressing basically, but the premise, we were kind of inspired initially by, I think we got to this train of thought by talking about textures we don't like, and we were reminded of various textures kind of in a bathroom setting, I think. I don't know how we got to the leap of like a noir soap. I think that part of the idea was like a kind of a conceptual texture and the grittiness of the noir noir genre, but whatever happens in the stew pot to make this game, it happened, and I think we all had a lot of fun with it, a lot of fun making it. Pass the torch to other folks who want to talk about it.
Yeah, I can go ahead and hop in. So this is actually my first time working with Godot as a game engine. I've designed the ability for the player to pick up pickups, and did some of the minor map work. So we initially designed this just as a 2D platformer, similar to like N++ or the Sonic the Hedgehog games. But while we were playing around with the slippery mechanic of being our protagonist, Private Eye Sud Slick, we very quickly figured out just how frustrating it is to move around and exist as a platformer that is also soap. So, in tweaking some of the platforms and things, I decided to lean into the rage game element of this. So, best of luck.
I feel like I get it, and then I don't.
I'll jump in as well. I was the person. I designed most of the map. Tanner did a lot of good touch-ups, and I'm very glad for all the work he did. But when I was originally designing the map, and also making the soap feel like a bar of soap, my first thought was, okay, well, I want it to be slippy, and then I made it slippy, and I realized that it was just immediate force either direction. So my second thought was, okay, that doesn't feel like soap. What if I made it like a car and accelerated? And the result was the most rage-inducing bar of soap I think I could have ever created. After that, the actual map itself, my main goal with that map was, for one, to make it frustrating. For another, just for something that would work. It was supposed to be a test map, but it turned out to be actually kind of fun. So we stuck with it and refined it. I noticed you were struggling with the toilet lid. Originally, that was a much easier jump, and then after talking with Tanner, we decided that no, it should be very painful to get that singular grime. But as John was saying, we also, when it came to it, I think originally we were talking about how we didn't like the texture of chalk, I think.
Chalk and a bunch of other stuff, yeah.
And a bunch of other stuff, and at some point, I think the idea of a detective game came up, which is how we got to a noir vibe. But I'll stop yapping now. There are other very talented people on this team who deserve some time.
Wow.
Okay. I mean, the other thing I did want to talk, I guess I didn't really talk about a ton about what I did specifically. I did all the art. I was mostly familiar with pixel art, so that's what I stuck with. Kind of enjoyed Sud's design, as basic as it is. I just think conceptually it's funny just to have a just a normal bar of soap, a sentient bar of soap with a fedora and trench coat. I just think that's funny. If you go through the introductory cutscene, I originally wrote a few more scenes, but had to cut it for time. That's just how it goes. But there's a lot of wordplay and puns because I'm a sucker for that stuff. And for a 2-second visual gag, I think I took a picture of my own sink, and I think Laurel cropped it out for me. Did you do that, or?
I did, yeah.
Yes, yeah, yeah. She did that. It was very kind because I'm not familiar with that type of stuff, but more of the yeah. I just didn't want to waste energy on it, but yeah, it was a really fun experience. Would do again. I guess if no one else on our team wants to add anything, I guess we can go to the Q&A portion. We'll see if we have any A's for the Q's.
Yeah, I had a question. I just wanted to know how or know what went behind making the soundtrack for this game? Because I think that it's a really great track.
Thank you. Yeah, the soundtrack was actually inspired by Persona and Digimon, and also from Sam Eng's talk. I took some audio from a video of the train station in New York City to get background audio to kind of like mimic the sound of like a city. And I also took some sirens. You can hear like police sirens. And I also recorded knocking glass bottles together to just kind of create a bunch of like textured sounds. And then aside from that, I'm just playing an electric piano and my bass, and my drum machine. And that's it.
Because I'm super curious, what software did you use for this?
A mix of Audacity for the audio recordings, and I use Ableton Live for all my music recording. The bass, just a 4-string Ibanez bass. The piano is a Juno, and then my drum machine is an LXR02.
Juno's the GOAT.
Yeah, the Juno pulls through every single time.
I'm so close.
My question for a moment is how connected to the soap do you feel right now playing it?
I'm so in it. You get the physics pretty quick. It's kind of nice.
I also like that there's a really difficult section and like the most relaxing music is playing.
Yeah.
This makes me think of Getting Over It a little bit.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
Everyone is
I'll count
honored
that
by
as
this
a win.
compliment.
Yeah. But, yeah, that's the game. We hope you all enjoyed it. At least thought it was cool. I think we enjoyed making it, so yeah.
Awesome. I think my stream was pretty laggy. Not exactly sure why. But we will go on to the next game, which will be Miranda.
Hello, I'm Miranda, and on my team is also Jim and Sean. Sean's actually going to be the one to walk us through the game. So he's going to go ahead and pull that up. I just wanted to introduce, and then he'll take over showing you all of the fun elements of the game.
Sounds good. I gotta see if the audio is actually sharing here. So this is Jam Jam. Can you hear my voice? This is a musical deck builder that allows you to create different songs using cards. So if I start out and I go to play, it'll take me to this music section where I can go through and I can build out a melody, a rhythm, and a harmony. So in this case, I'll go ahead and start to build out this harmony. I'll add this chord and this chord. Let's add this one of these, and let's give it, you know what? That's good. Let's go with that. And that'll be good for now. And now I'll skip over the rhythm and go straight to the melody. And let's build out a melody for this. Let's see.
Hey, Sean, I don't think it's playing through the computer, your audio.
I can click Perform Section A. The audio is not, like, you can't hear the sounds.
Yeah, I think when you, if you want to reshare, there will be a little check that says share sound through the computer. You'll need to hit that. So I would like end the screen share and then reshare it, and you'll see a little check box.
Yeah. Ending share now.
We could hear it through the computer, but I think it's like, yeah, coming through.
Yeah, I think it's playing off the speakers instead
Oh, it was
of
like playing through my
Yeah,
microphone.
the music just wasn't very
Yeah.
clear, but we could hear most of what was going on.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
just because it seems like audio is a big part of the game
Yeah, it kind of is.
experience.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got a thing that like presenter layout and it's got, share sound. There we go. Got it. All right, that'll be better. And then I'll mute myself. It's going to move along, and our friend Mello here likes it. And he says, let's move on to section 3, or section C. So now I'm taken to the store where I can go in and I can buy different instruments and I can buy different cards that I might like to use. So in this case, I really like the cello, and I like the chiptune instrument, and I like the chimes too. So I'm going to pick all of those. And now I can use these to help build out my sound even more. So here, if I want to use the chimes for my melody, I can do that. Let's do that. And we'll do that right there. All right. And if I want to build out another harmony, let's use the cello this time. That'll work. That's not terrible. And we'll say we're done with section C. And Bublo likes it. All right, and now we move on, and it'll take us over to section B. And I'll select another chiptune card, and I really like the chimes, so we'll keep the chimes. And I think I'm done for now. So I'll go to start section B. Now I'll skip over this because you've already seen it a couple of times, but if I go to arrange sections here, I can now go through, and since we built out a section A and a section C, and it will just sort of hop you randomly from section to section, so you keep iterating on each section. I can arrange section A, and then let's do a couple of C's, and then another A, and we'll play the arrangement. And as you can hear, this song is terrible. But that's okay, because your first time through, the song is usually going to be terrible. You're playing with really basic instruments. You don't have much to work with. So as you go through, you can make the song better. You'll pick up cards that you like. You'll get rid of cards that you don't like. You'll pick up notes that you like and rhythms that can make things more interesting, and sounds, especially the instruments. I'm really excited about the instruments. And you can build it out into a song that you really, really like. And that is Jam Jam. Cool. Yeah, so that's the game. I know Jim and Miranda had some stuff. I was hoping when I was going through the demo and recording the video, I was hoping we get the bagpipe instrument because we got a lot of laughs out of that. It sounds ridiculous.
Jim's going to be posting the link in, so if anybody's interested in messing around with it, the bagpipes are absolutely hysterical. Jim recorded a video, this one's on YouTube, that you can pull up of the bagpipes, just to see what that's like if you have any interest. But we had a whole lot of fun making the game. I know Jim wants to probably talk a little bit about the coding aspect of things, if you want to jump in.
Yeah, I don't have too much to share about that. I mean, it's pretty much what it sounds like. You have different cards that do different things. One really funny thing whenever we're uploading the game is our first export of it, the sound did not work at all, which is like slightly important for a music game. Like we posted it to itch and everything. I was like, oh crap, what am I gonna do? Like right at time. But we ended up fixing it after a little drama. Yeah, it was a really fun experience working with everybody on this.
Yeah, we used like all of these cards have like MIDI files behind them. And so like we have MIDI files with like these different like sound font instruments, and like the only plugin that we could find was this like Japanese plugin that Jim was like, "Oh, I guess I'm gonna figure this out. All of the comments are in Japanese, but okay." Cool. Any questions?
From the
What
programming
inspired y'all to
perspective.
make this? Sorry, being good. Oh, well. Yeah, where'd the inspiration for this come from? Like, what got this in your head?
Partly like the deck builder games, like Balatro was like a big influence there. But then we were also thinking about like the texture thing. We threw out probably like 10 different ideas, and one of the ones we landed on was like, well, what about like sonic textures? Like, what about layering sonic textures on each other and seeing if you can like build something cool from that? And then it just sort of like spawned out of that. And then the art was all that was all Miranda, and that was just Miranda. We were just like, Miranda, go nuts, come up with whatever you want. And then everything she came up with was awesome.
Peep in the crowd. There is an alien hiding. See if you can find him. That was Sean's idea to throw in there, and then I had a lot of fun getting to throw that guy in there.
From a programming perspective, sounds like you had to learn this Japanese plugin thing. Was it broadly a new challenge for you implementing audio like this, or was it all pretty simple, straightforward, just like audio files associated with different objects, or how was that for you?
Yeah, it was definitely a bit challenging at first. I haven't done anything with MIDI really before at all. And it's kind of a unique challenge for this game because we have different MIDI files and different sound fonts for like each card all playing at once. And most of these MIDI plugins are built to just play like one song at a time with one instrument. So we ran into a lot of performance issues where every time you'd play a card, the plugin would try to load an entire sound font, which is like they can be like 50 or 60 megabytes, so not ideal. Like your whole computer just freeze. So the game actually, whenever you start up, just loads like 20 instances of MIDI players for each sound font. That way the cards can overlap and they're just ready in the background to go all the time. But that was probably the main challenge. Once before we got that in, the music sounded terrible because like randomly halfway through your song, it just freeze whenever it had to load a new sound font. But yeah, that made it actually playable.
Alrighty. Thanks y'all for sharing. Ryan O'Connell wants a new person to play their game, so not me or Momin, but somebody else. If somebody wants to play something easier in their browser, just make yourself known if you want to share this next game. Gabe? Okay.
Thanks, Gabe. We'll get a fresh pair of eyes on it. So I'm Ryan O'Connell, one of the many Ryans, but there's something special in our group because we have a 100% Ryan participant.
Blue Ryan, you muted.
Yep, I'm also other Ryan working on the game. So.
Oh, did you mute me? Really?
I didn't.
I don't know how much of what I said got through, but I'm Ryan, also, or Imposter Blues or Blues. Ryan Davis did all the music. Is there audio coming through? Can we share with sound?
Yeah, Gabe. Try closing the stream.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wait, there you
Here
go.
we go.
Yep.
Very good. So we have a kind of, yeah, just jump right in. I'll talk about it a little bit. So we took textural quite literally, and we have some textures that you can put on one of our little guys. And the whole game's about finding your friends. So I guess the inspiration was you're at a train station, you've only met your friends online, and this is the first time meeting them in person, and you only have a vague description of who they are. And I'm sorry, I'm jamming out to the tunes, which I've been doing all weekend. A few of the inspirations for the game, if you've ever played the little art game called Exquisite Corpse, where everyone draws You just draw a head, and then you pass the paper to someone else so they don't see what you drew, and they draw a body, and you do the same thing for the legs. So all of the pieces in here are composed of the little guys' pieces we drew, then we mix and match them, and then I did the... you mix and match them together, then it also mixes the textures that are there. And make some fun little guys as friends. I'll let it play a little bit. You can hear the soundscape that's happening here. And then, yeah, if you see, there's clues at the bottom. The initial inspiration for this game is actually Golden Idol, which is this awesome deduction-based game. And I really wanted to do like a super fast one-scene version of that. But it wasn't really coming together what I like, and it's kind of interesting how it all came together. Much different than I anticipated. But now it's kind of like this quick action kind of mini game. And it's pretty fun. I'll let Ryan talk about the music and what he did for a little bit.
Yeah, I'll let the round finish here. Yeah, so if you reload the game and go back to the title screen, if that's possible. So, I guess the audio is not playing now. Is this in... Oh.
If you center click without or right click, it probably should start playing. There's a weird... Yeah. There you go.
So we used some of the audio from the Audio Safari here. So I mixed there was like a nice piano track, which I guess somebody captured. And we put that with some train sounds. Just did that in Audacity to try to, set the tone of we're sad because we don't have our friends here, right? And then when you play the actual game, all the music is made in FAMI Tracker, so it's a tracker program. Uses the same sound chip as the NES. And then for the sound effects for the characters, I just kind of took random clips, some of them from Audio Safari, some from other places, and mixed them up in Audacity as well. So anybody interested in chiptunes, I would recommend checking out FAMI Tracker. It's a really good program for music like that. Yep, that's all I have.
Yeah, I think one more thing I wanted to mention before I open it up to questions is we also were really inspired by limitations. Everything in this game is just the 16 colors that we picked from a palette. And just because I like random things, almost if you reload the page, almost everything in this game is completely random. Even to the backgrounds are generated from just like a noise texture, and it creates a gradient by 2 of the colors. The little guys get randomly generated every time. All the colors on the logo do. So trying to find the maxing the gameplay with like a limited palette, and picking this nice pastel look just makes it nice and friendly. And I really like the way it all turned out.
Yeah, I'll say Ryan did a phenomenal job on all the programming stuff. That's all him. I just made
I did the programming and we collabed the art, which also made the exquisite corpse look of it, I think, look really good too, since we both brought a little bit of a different style. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's friends finally.
This game was fun.
Was there any particular inspiration for the style of texture on the clothes? I've seen that in a couple of media different places.
I was actually, the inspiration was Chowder.
Okay, nice.
I initially I was gonna have it work more like Chowder, where it's like a window onto something in the background, but in the end I just kind of faked it and just jiggled it a little bit, and that looked pretty good since our characters were kind of static anyway, and that kind of gave me the effect I wanted. I think I was gonna plus up the game and have a bunch more textures, but I programmed it badly, so it was hard to implement more.
I have big respect for anyone that can compose music in tracker software, because that's a particular skill issue of mine, so you did a great job on that. And I just wanted to give a quick shout out to James Krasner, who made that amazing piano recording in the Safari.
I mean, it wasn't that hard. There was like a TV that was playing this piano track, and I was like, "Wait, this is so sad. Why is this playing in a train station?"
Yeah, can you click on the game so we can be happy again? It's too bumming out. Here we go. Here we go.
This might be a bit controversial, but who is the best friend?
Oh no. I was actually, when I was making the game, I kept taking screenshots of my favorite little guys, and they just kept getting better. So I don't know. I really the armor, if you're noticing, is literally just the fluted armor set from Demon Souls. Probably one wearing that. I think my favorite outfit is actually the sweater that's very fuzzy. The high score is 22, so that's the score to beat. 22 friends.
I'll conclude by saying I haven't made any new friends since I played this game, so I'd recommend everybody to go check it out.
I'm gonna have this song stuck in my head for days.
Oh yeah, you are. Don't worry. Oh. It's like a 4-second loop for the end screen, so...
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Cool. Well, thanks everyone for letting us show off our fun little game. I hope you all liked it.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Everybody should go play that game on itch and see how many friends they can make in 60 seconds. And then we can all compete. Just like that would be fun.
Next we have Card.
Hi, my name is Alex. I'm joined by my jam partner Cecil. Our musician Zach couldn't be here, unfortunately. I haven't jammed in a while, but I used to be a regular, and this is Cecil's first. When we started brainstorming, we ended up drifting a bit from the theme. We couldn't stop thinking about anime and how fun it is to parody, and this led to a joke about Yu-Gi-Oh! But what if the cards were the size of tables? Anyway, I think the rest of this is going to speak for itself. It's a 2-player local multiplayer game. So I've also recruited my wife here to play it with me. There we go. All right, ready? Okay. Just spamming them in the wrong spot. Oh my god.
In that one spot.
It did work. I didn't realize my wife got so low.
Woo!
Holy. So yeah, that's the game. You pick up cards, you throw them, they spawn a minion, and you gotta be the best. I don't know if I can mute this while I'm sharing, but yeah. Any questions?
I might need you to mute it and then show us the gameplay again because I was so distracted by everything that was happening on the screen. I was not able to listen to you.
Yeah, hang on. I think
I have a super quick question while you're doing
Okay.
that.
There we go.
I gotta know who sang the song.
That was Zach. That was our musician, Zach Frank. I told him we're just to explain, we're parodying anime, Yu-Gi-Oh specifically. If you've heard those theme songs, it's like that, like high energy, you gotta be the best at cards. And then he came back with like, I took that very literally.
People are wanting this on Bandcamp or SoundCloud. I think
Okay.
people are literally going to listen to this after the game jam.
It's only 20 seconds, but yes, I agree. I've had it stuck in my head all day.
From what I can tell, it also loops, so it could be 3 hours.
It could, in fact.
How did y'all decide what was going to go on the cards?
We had a list of like 12 cards that, for game jam reasons, scope-wise, never amounted to more than, I think we have 5. But we just kept coming up with different ideas based on like Yu-Gi-Oh monsters and like classic anime tropes. And the silliest joke that made it in was obviously just the gun.
Have you ever seen an old music video called Gallo Sengen?
No.
The art style reminds me a lot of Gallo Sengen. It's a Japanese music video.
I'm actually the artist for it, and I saw Gallo Sengen a very long time ago, and I think I brought that with me because a lot of the art was based upon, when you're in like 3rd grade, just gorilla holding a pen and drawing Goku the best you can. That was how I wanted to do it. And I remember I did see Gallo Sengen a long time ago and like locked it into my head. And I referenced it for the main character's design with just the very sharp chin and insane hair. But yeah, that's a fucking great music video.
Or like Girl Chan in Paradise too.
Yes.
Girl Chan in Paradise was the first thing we both like shouted at each other.
And Joey Wheeler, that stupid fucking meme of his face.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of everything on like Newgrounds back in the day.
We definitely wanted to go for the gentler time of the internet with that.
What were some of the cards that got cut?
I have them all listed.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could just read them out loud. I'm just gonna list off I think some of my favorites. One of them we had as far as like made art for was Audrey 1, the cousin of Audrey 2. Didn't make it in. It was going to be another trap card, sort of like the slime is sort of like currently our landmine card. You put it out, if someone walks into it, it's an explosion. So we're like thinking, okay, let's make another trap, but this one just immobilizes. That logic ended up getting cut for time. What was your favorite that got cut, Cecil?
Just because we have a hyper-realistic A10 Warthog. But we do have plans to keep adding characters to this since it's, stupid easy to create these really bad designs. So it's probably just keep going until there's like 50 cards.
Yeah, this was one of the more fun jams I've worked on, and definitely something I think we're going to keep kind of chipping at.
This was amazing.
I
Yeah,
have,
no,
I have a
if
question. Oh, go ahead, Moon.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say I don't know if you've worked with Zach Frank before, but he also made me like a last minute track for one of my games, and I still listen to it on loop sometimes. So definitely try to get Zach Frank if you have a chance.
He worked with us on Space Post, and
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
crushed it. So it's so cool to see him pop back up and be like, "Hell yeah, like, hell yeah, man, I got you." Val, you had a question?
Yeah, is Scarlton his first name or his last name for the red skeleton?
I think it's like a Prince situation.
Oh, okay. It's only
Yeah.
Scarlton. Okay, it's
Yeah.
mysterious. That only makes him hotter, honestly.
All right. Well, yeah. Thanks for having us, guys.
I love
Awesome.
everything about that.
Yeah, that was incredible.
All
Thank you
right,
so much,
next
guys.
we have the swap drop team, which is me, Steven, and I think Steven is gonna share. But yeah, me, Steven, Alex, Dylan, two Alexes actually.
I didn't realize I was going to share. I can. I just didn't. I just got to get the game
Oh,
up.
oh yeah. Okay, I'll share then. I just saw your message.
It's up to you.
I shall. Actually, let us do another team first. We'll do the Python team.
Okay.
Is Python around?
That's Andrews, right?
Yeah, Andrew said he's going to present. It's not also on my laptop, but I can if we need to. Let's see.
Cool. Is Andrew here? Maybe we'll come back to both of us. Is the Squish team here?
Hello.
Oh, there's Andre.
Okay. Yes, hello, it is I, Andrew.
Okay, go for it.
Didn't change my name. I misspelled my name. Let me get it all up here. We're faster than expected. Share. Can everybody see it?
Yes.
All right. How's the
Yes.
volume?
Cannot
Can't hear anything just yet.
Volume's good.
We
No,
cannot
okay.
hear.
Oh,
No
you can't.
volume
Oh,
yet.
I didn't click it, did I? Dang it.
Yeah, when you reshare, click the sound checkbox and also click the optimize for video checkbox.
Click both. Can you hear it now?
Yep, we're good now.
Yep.
Great. Well, hello everybody. This is Squish, made by myself, Andrew. Art by Amanda Easterling, music by Josh Greensenbach, and programming by myself and Todd Matthews. I'll just go through a little demo real quick, and then I'll hand it over to them if they want to make any comments, and then we'll get questions. So our idea, sort of from the theme textural, we had a bunch of ideas about, the texture of things and the textures of art, as well as there's ideas about sounds of things like rubbing together. And so we ended up on an idea that we thought would be really funny, is just to stick your finger in a bunch of sauce and make it make funny noises and spread it around everywhere. So that's our game. It's Squish. So we'll give it a go. As you can see, your little hand, you got a table, and you can stick it in all your stuff here and make a big mess. And that's pretty much the whole game. So if we stick our finger in this stuff, we can have a real nice time. Making Cheerios fly everywhere. Stick our fingers in the honey. And some sugar.
Do the colors mix?
It gets a little crazy. That one just disappeared. They do.
Yeah. It was an attempt. Tried.
And then once we have an amazing amount of fun, Mom comes home. And so that's Squish. I mostly worked on the programming, and hold on. I sort of my favorite part was making the little effects for each different condiment. So I tried to make a little sticky effect here with the honey, and making the Cheerios fly everywhere and the sugar pop out everywhere and make a big mess. So yeah, I'll hand it over to the rest of the team if they'd like to make any comments.
I'm Amanda. I'm the artist. I had a lot of fun working on this. This is my first game jam specifically, but I've worked on games before, so I knew how the format worked. But it was really fun turning this idea into a game. So I'm really excited to do it again.
I enjoyed trying to learn how to do drawing that I've done on a canvas in the web. Since I'm a web developer, to figure out how to do that in Godot. That was fun.
It's like a perspective kind of drawing, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. That was Andrew's idea. That was pretty awesome. I just had it flat on a 2D surface, and he had the idea for us to try to bring that into a 3D world, into a 3D node. And definitely had challenges, newer to game dev. Like I had like tens of thousands of sprites I was creating, so hit some performance issues right away, and learning about baking that into a texture, then making it every 100 that get drawn, we bake it. But then we had problems because we bake those objects that we put in the game too. So it was a fun experience trying to be each obstacle we would hit and try to get through it along the way.
Amanda, based on your past experience, what was the most surprising thing about doing art for a game jam?
Well, a lot of my old previous games, I was doing the programming as well as the music, as well as a lot of other things because it was for school projects. And so I was surprised with how much freedom I had, not having to go into the game engine at all to do anything, just handing over the art and then seeing it turn out like this. It was really nice, and it made me really realize that I do really like making art for games.
Anybody else have any questions? All right, it sounds like not, so thank you. That was our game.
Okay. We can go back to Swap Drop, and then after us will be Python. Right, let me see if I get this. Yeah, so everyone on the team who's here, feel free to unmute and introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Steven. I did the art for the game as well as I think the level design. I don't know why I said I think. I did the level design. I just did it very awkwardly because I think I literally just drew it on paper. I drew it on paper, posted it to the Discord, and it was just like, good luck.
Hello, I'm Alex. I did the music and sound design for Swap Drops.
Hello,
Hi.
my name is Angelo. I did
some of the prop or at least the environment art.
Hi, I'm also Alex. I helped along with the programming for implementing things into the Unity engine.
Yeah, and I'm Momin. I did some programming. Okay, so you start off in the world here with our cute little character, and you can, it's kind of like a platformer, you can kind of go around, but you'll notice that most of the objects are just blank. So actually, since your character is an artist, they can throw around different textures to paint the world. So we have this kind of jelly texture that lets you bounce. This metal texture makes things solid, and we have a paint thinner as well, which will reset to the original texture. Yeah, so we have this kind of path over here. Also, all these trees and stuff you can turn into, you can hit them too. Yeah, so you can kind of paint things however you want, but we also have this kind of puzzle level design that Steven designed. So these blank objects, you have to paint them to interact with them. In this case, we can do jelly, or we can do the steel one to make it into a platform. Got stuck. Okay, we'll try that again. Let's see this one. There we go. So I can get past here. Here we have a bunch of blanks. Make some steel over here. And now you might notice the music has changed because the more things you paint in the world, Alex made it so that the music track starts to bring in different instruments. But in this case, we want to use jelly so we can bounce over. And we'll add a bunch more jellies just to see some more music. And that's all we had time to make, so we just have this open area here where you can just go around and paint whatever you want. And if you paint enough stuff, you get the full music track.
So yeah, as Momin said, this is all adaptive music that I did, which also is my very, very first time I've ever used audio middleware like this. Thank you so much, Momin, for letting me play around with it. And yeah, if we had more textures in the game, because we talked about having more textures, I definitely would have done more instruments. But this is actually my first time seeing all this in action, so I'm glad nothing's broken. And yeah, the melody line that you guys hear with the piano, like the fantasy type piano, only gets that way when the complexity score on both instruments are at the highest score. And the only other thing I want to mention with the sound in this game is besides the piano instruments you're hearing, everything is taken from the audio Safari, because I thought it's cool that we have a sound library. I thought it was cool that we had a sound library, and I wanted to prove that just with a limited sound library, you could make a bunch of stuff and bend sound to your whim. Even the drums that you're hearing in the song is all taken from the audio Safari. The only thing that isn't, like I said, is the pianos.
Nice. Anyone else on the team have comments?
I did want to say that there was a big inspiration from De Blob and the idea of like coloring the world around you, and I also really enjoyed the music design of it because in De Blob, also as you paint the world, the music track will change and adapt and get more complex the more things you paint in different colors.
I also wanted to say I spend way too much time playing the Blob as a younger self, so yeah, that's probably where those ideas came from.
I don't have any I don't have any interesting backstory with anything I did. I kind of just kind of drew whatever. I was given a lot of freedom with it, which was a lot of fun. A little scary too, because I like kind of being guided a little bit. So being told like, oh, just do whatever, that was very scary, but it was a lot of fun. There are a few textures that didn't get in. It's just for like the environment and stuff. That was just like a time issue. I was definitely kind of taking a while to do a lot of stuff. That was kind of my fault. But yeah, it was a lot of fun getting to work on this. And for the past few game jams that I've done, I have been on programming. So it was nice being able to do like art again.
Yeah, I think it was a pretty difficult game jam for everyone on the team to get enough time on it, but I'm really happy with how things turned out.
Yeah, I will say, what was that one sound? It was either like one of the metal footsteps or the jelly bounce sound. Like I spent literally like 3-4 hours trying to make it work from this audio safari. So yeah, I felt the difficulties too.
Awesome. Well, thanks, y'all.
Oh, I had a question.
Oh, yeah, go for it, Eric.
Yeah, I was just curious, what were those cut textures and what were some like the cut puzzle ideas that you didn't have time for?
Let's see.
I know a big
Is there a
one we
water
talked.
effect that we were trying to talk about?
The water was the main one where you
Yeah,
could you could float objects on water, or if it was steel, it would sink to the bottom of the
Also,
water.
wood effect where like, oh, you could put wood and we could have it float. But yeah.
I also had like a crazy idea to just like instead of like solid colors to just like do other textures like Sam Meng talked about a bridge or like a manhole cover, so that would I thought would be cool for like a throwable texture to change stuff.
There were definitely some ideas that we really wanted to do, but were way outside the scope of the 48-hour jam. Of like the others had mentioned, of water textures that you wouldn't be able to get across because you're paint. So you would have to put like a wood texture to make a bridge across, or a steel texture. And if we had the time to do so, then like, oh, you have put a metal or wood texture in the middle of water, we'll turn that into the bridge, so you can cross there.
Yeah, that was like I was gonna say if you I actually just posted it, but like I posted like some of the concept art. It's not really necessary. I think we already have like a good idea.
Oh, cool. Yeah, let me show that real quick. Not that.
Yeah, it's just like a few little doodles here and there. Oh,
Yeah,
see,
I like how the concept turned into like the 3D
Yeah.
output.
I will say I'm very, very glad you guys did not go with the like android mascot looking guy. I don't hate him, but it's like I think he would have just been very, very boring to draw. Just like just he's a very simple design.
Yeah, this is definitely the best idea I've seen like in this entire jam.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. All right. Anything else, or shall we let the Python team go? Okay. Python, you're up.
Alrighty then. Hi, Andrew. And this is Piton. No offense, it's French. Piton is a
Piton
object used to make a hook in the wall to help mountaineers climb. So it's just a rock climbing kind of term. I'm gonna do the share now. And hit share. Open system settings. I should have done this a second ago. It's gonna come up in a sec. Yeah, I put the credits there. It's also available in the okay, I've got to quit and come back. I promise I'll be half a second.
It's been more than half a second.
I can start talking a little bit till he comes back.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. So the team was textural, and so I think we're thinking about how texture could be used in navigation, like a navigation puzzle. But also we were really inspired by the snow theme, just because it was affecting the jam and everything. Are you back, Andrew?
Yes, and yeah, I'm sure it's good. The white noise texture, the static on a screen, kind of the buzzing of a dead TV, that sort of thing was another instance. We had a screen that you had to look at for a while. Getting lost in the snow, whiteout conditions felt like a very textural experience. But yeah, snow heavily weighed on us.
I don't know if we get sound.
I'll try one more time. It's very light,
Okay.
but we do definitely want sound here. So let's go share. Computer audio, stereo, high fidelity. Let's try one more time. Share settings. Do you guys hear anything? Maybe I can bing bap. I'll make the sounds myself if they don't come through. Let's try.
Do not hear.
It's very light. Let's give it a shot though.
Okay.
Okay, you're dropped into. Do you hear any footsteps?
No.
Shh, 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 shh. Okay. It's too bad. I've frozen to death. This is awful. I must reach the button. If you want, you can open it up in the browser too. And try to. This is. It'll be easier if you give in.
And I kept jumping back and forth between like a grim theme and like a really funny theme.
Maybe I don't want to hear the audio.
He's like, oh God, he's shivering. I'm stepping slowly. Chat, should we give in?
Is this Death Stranding?
Yes.
Maybe we'll just give in. I froze. We're so close, but so far away. Let's try jumping. If we're not too cold. We're so close. Get there. Come on. Oh, no. I'm sure we'll get there this time. Notice the corpse counter, top left. Oh no, can we make it? Got it. Okay, moving on. Oh, I can't get up this hill. So while we go to the second area here, I guess I can answer any questions people have about Piton and the theme. Or if anyone wants to share, is like we had a couple of first timers on the group that were responsible for all the art, this excellent art, including someone who was able to create this really great human body, first time sculptor in ZBrush or Blender actually, but
yeah, actually, I had a question about the core game mechanic of walking on corpses. Was that the original idea, or did that kind of just happen through development, or did you guys have like a different plan before, or was it always going to be that you're going to be walking on corpses?
So the first time we tried to get this going, we said, oh, well, what if you just walk in a random direction and every time you freeze to death, you get a little more information about the direction you're going. You're in a whiteout conditions, completely flat. You're just wandering around and trying to find your way, and each corpse you find kind of breadcrumbs you. And then I think it was Shane who was like, well, what if you're climbing a mountain instead of it flat? And we're like, oh, great. That gives us a goal, instead of just wandering directionally, aimlessly. And it really came together after that because you can see I can gather some warmth. And then once I get enough, oh, God, no. You see, I've got this climbing. Come on, get up there. It'll just be easier if I give in. And so the other inspiration was a little more morbid, and it's comical, but it's also sad that like some of the routes in Everest are these bodies and they don't really help you. They're actually kind of in the way, but there's no way to get them down. And in this scenario, they're actually you, and you're helping yourself kind of. You're kind of infinitely spawned from these little hatches here. And so I figured it's like a cloning situation where I don't know about the plot, but there could be something there. Maybe it's better left unexplained, but I think we can get there this time.
How does the temperature work?
So the temperature drops rapidly and randomly. It's a steady rate plus some basic getting cold, but each time you visit a body, they give you some of their warmth, also random. So you can actually start to kind of surf these bodies once you get enough of them. So some advanced speedrun tactics are available if you know what you're doing.
What
do you see now?
Who is the lowest corpse count? Who is the best speedrun?
Exactly. The lowest, fastest. I think one of our teammates played the game and was like, yeah, it took me way too long. Like, we need to make this way easier. And then I think I showed like a video that was like, oh, we have a speed run here of, let's see if I can find the speed run. Oh, it would be in my movies. Here's the speed run. So this section is, I think, really, really hard. And it takes a really long time to get up there, but I'm instantly, every time I just spawn, I just instantly give in. But I'm placing these pitons extremely strategically. So you can see how much progress we're making. But if you're not prepared, this section could take you all day. But I just got so much speed there. So we're just perfectly 1, 2. These are just hurling us up the mountain if you are ready to experience that. You can give it a try. So maybe this is a spoiler, but you get the gist. And I've been dying here over and over.
I love that the body's frozen, so it doesn't need any animation or rigging.
Yeah, we did rig it and got some really cool like results. So it will ragdoll, but we thought it was way funnier if he's just a popsicle. Kind of more thematic. And he has like this nice freezing animation, freezing sound, and the shivering sound effects, which are to be experienced. So, anyone else from the team or any other questions?
Yeah, so I would like to add on to that. So, I mean, as y'all know, this is my first video game jam. So, I mean, I tried to contribute to the project in some way. I thought I could do the programming like, Andrew and Mac did, but like as somebody said in the group chat of the video, coding a video game leaves no room for error, like little to no room for error. So like if you make a mistake in the code, it's gonna affect the entire game. I was trying to code in one of the sounds, like for example, the snow crunching sound. I don't know if y'all can hear that in the game, but I was trying to code that in the game, and like, it just kept messing up. Like I couldn't get it to work, but Mac helped me. So, and I figured if I couldn't do programming, I might as well, be the sound. I might as well be the guy that does the sounds. So like for example, like when you activate one of the beacons, you would hear my sounds, play as you like activate one of the beacons. So, I would be like, if you activate the first beacon, it would go like, one down. You activate the second beacon, that's two, and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
everyone play this game so you can hear the sound work Sebastian provided.
Yeah, sorry I couldn't get it to work, but yeah, it got some commits in. Definitely first time using GitHub too, and yeah, great job.
Yeah, using Git is pretty difficult for first time, so that's awesome.
Yeah, that was my very first time using GitHub. I only used it for, downloading stuff, but I never like used it to like share projects, with other people. Yeah, I got some really good help from the team, so. Mhm.
Oscar's shouting out the workshops. Yeah, those are awesome way to get prepared for the jam. Okay, I think next we have Death Machine 3000.
Hey guys, I'll go ahead and pull this up real quick. Yeah, that'll work. All right, so my name's Eric Schmiel. I've been doing some game jam stuff for a while. Made this in Pico 8. I'm kind of trapped with it, but we're doing it again. So this is kind of like a grimy apocalypse slot machine game. And I kind of had the idea at MagFest when I saw like Luck Be a Landlord walking by. I was like, oh shit, a slot machine game. And I remember like that kind of was the thing that was popping up for a little bit there. I think like what Slots and Daggers is one. I think the Blotcher devs doing like a slot machine game. Never played one, but I was like curious about how to like make that a game. And also the jam scope seemed perfect. And thank God I went for something small because it was still too much. But yeah, let's kind of, I guess, dig into it. So I had some like narrative ideas behind it. They kind of fell through, but I had this little intro and this little like text sequence kind of thing, baked in, into it a little bit. I see it just not too much. Just years ago, humanity gave up everything to the machine, their toil, their fear, their pain, and uh, their love, their dreams, their hope. I hate you. And then we start the game. And you can see me trying to do this kind of like fade effect with Pico 8 that I never tried before. It's the first time messing with these kind of fill patterns. I got some baked in dithering patterns. I tried to like hopefully make it seem kind of like a shade kind of thing. I don't know if it quite worked, but it's something. And then you get to the game and you got this kind of like slot machine effect or a slot machine kind of situation here. So one of the key questions was like, how do you make a slot machine game more than just pressing a button and seeing a result? And the thing that kind of came to my mind was the coins you select could be what would influence how the game would play. So you can see we got like two sections here. We got this coin section and then a selection of coins to choose from. And down below, you can kind of see these little descriptions appear that kind of explain the effect of that coin. Um, it's not like a true slot machine. What this really is that we have a kind of set of possible results. We got this result pool here, and it kind of lists them out. The grapes is like a major bonus. The cherries are like a minor bonus. The little kind of stretched faces are big damage, and the little circles are small damage. So you can see we got like 3 big damage in the pool, 1 small damage, 3 minors, and 1 major there. I was originally going to have a similar kind of thing here where you can kind of navigate them and see like what their actual effects are, but that got cut for scope. But you can at least kind of like stretch them out to have like an easier view to see the actual quantities. So the idea is you would pick your coin based on like what's in the results pool and try to like modify the probability to whatever's going to be advantageous. We got these, I just kind of threw in like a couple effects shooting from the hip. So we kind of got basically like a major coin that puts like 1 major bonus in the pool and like 2 small damage in the pool. A minor coin, which is kind of like a just free spin, pretty safe. It just adds like 1 minor result to the pool. And then we got the doubling and the halving coins. Doubling adds a big damage to the pool, but it doubles the results, good or bad. So if you roll a lot of damage, you're going to take a lot of damage. If you roll lots of bonus, you get lots of bonus. And same for the half, except that'll just add like a small damage. Um, and so that's kind of the idea. You sort of manipulate it, and you're trying to hit this like target score down here, which you can kind of see at the bottom. We got this target 10 and point 0 at the bottom there. Also, I did get combos in, which I'm excited about. So if you get 3 of a kind, it triples whatever it is, which means big damage can almost kill you outright. So, you can kind of see there's a chance for like a big damage combo. So you might want to half the results. And you're just kind of like judging how much risk you can take based on how much life you got left and how many points you need. And once you're out of coins, that's the game. That's it. There is also like a secret 5th coin that you have infinite of that I didn't make a graphic for that just adds nothing but big damage over and over. So to actually play it, we would select a coin. So let's try just adding the minor one and just do a spin, transition over to spin, and hit that, make a little flip effect. And you can see we got a major, a minor, and small damage. So majors give you 5 points, minors give you 1 point. So you can see we got 6 points down there, and we took 5 points of damage for the minor damage. Yeah, and then we can pick another one. Let's just try to go for the big one, double it. And we got a lot of damage and we're almost dead. But that's okay. I think we can probably cheese it by just doing half back to back. Oh no, okay. It looks like it gave us nothing. Let's just actually. So one thing that's also kind of worth noting is it's sort of invisible, the bonus you can see right now. I really need to add like a visual indicator of it getting added to the slot. So this 1 minor that gets added is included in the pull that we just do right there. So you might not necessarily see it appear, but it's affecting it. I think we gotta, man, I think we have to roll the dice on this because if we die, we're just out. And each one of those big damages deals 15. So even if we draw 2, that's 30. We'll still have 2 life left, and we should get hopefully the major that saves us, or we'll get one of these 2 damages that add to it, which would outright kill us. But if there's nothing in the result pool, it defaults to big damage. So I think we're kind of back to the corner of having to try to do like a major, which got us bloody killed. Triple whammies. Womp. Oh well. I think I can cheese it to get to the next screen. I think this is kind of like a solid strategy of just doing the minors. And then oh yeah, it's nothing but, so cool, win. So if you win, you go to a shop screen. And here you can kind of see part of the in process thing I did here. So to start with, on the first day, I made a text only prototype of the whole system that was playable, allowed me to try out the game, see if it was fun. I was actually like, oh, this is a real puzzle. I'm kind of getting into it. The original target was 20, and it was possible, but it was tricky. You just had to time a double really well, especially if you can get like double majors or something like that. So the whole thing is completely playable through this kind of text screen. I have a certain kind of affection for this kind of text input. It kind of reminds me of like really old school, like a computer game from the 70s or something like that. And Pico 8's text fonts gives a certain kind of charm. Here you can see we got the upcoming results pool on the right, and the idea is there would be kind of a deliberate level progression where I would kind of curate certain sets of results upcoming, and you would alter your shopping based on what's coming up. You can only have up to 10 coins at a given time, so you kind of have to choose wisely. You have the option to buy or sell them to kind of make room for it. And there is like a kind of a design flaw here with once you run out of like beneficial things, it's really hard to flood the result pool again with stuff that isn't just going to murder you. So like once you're down to like one nice thing, there's going to be a lot of damage and it's hard to fix that situation. But we can go ahead and press X and then we'd be doing the next round. And you can see this is just a situation I set up just to test things out that's really damn easy to win. So we can just kind of throw in some majors and it'll just kind of go indefinitely in a loop like that. There's an option to do like a kind of infinite mode where the result pool would be randomly generated. And the idea was that there would be like narrative kind of scenes between different rounds, and we would kind of like up the difficulty. And I kind of had this idea of like the robot thinking like you need human beings need like a certain level of friction for like to have like an enriched life. So if it sees it's too easy for you, it just keeps putting more and more damage in the pool because like, oh, that was too easy. You need to be more stressed to be happy. And it would kind of work its way up like that. And then for context, it's easy for me to switch to the text prototype version. I just got to comment out and re-comment in one line here I have set ahead of time. So that would take us to the old text version of the state rather than going straight to the game state. If I reload it, you can kind of see the original prototype look like this, which y'all might have seen GIFs of. And this is like functionally, mechanically the same. It just has a completely different kind of interface. One thing that is nice about this, it'll actually show you the numbers of the results. Uh, yeah. So you can see that's 3 damage. It tripled up to like 65 points of damage total. So that's rough. There's something I was going to add on this. Oh, right. Uh, it was surprisingly easy to take the systems I made in this text prototype and just plop it into the graphical version. And thank God for that, because I was getting like real tired yesterday afternoon, but I just was able to just copy, paste, and the way it was set up, it just worked. And thankfully I had the text version of the shop there that I could just plug in because I did not have the time or the energy to make it proper. Yeah, I think that's most of what I got to say about this. Um, I'm happy with it. I think there's a real game here. It definitely needs some like design iterations to like actually figure out how to make these bonuses like not ridiculous and kind of like a more of a viable game. I also, oh yeah, there was this kind of vision to do like you see it 1,000 times, 1,000 different games. You get to the end of a level and you get 3 options from a shop. Buy one. I was thinking those would be a certain kind of modifiers, and then the coins would be another set. But I combined the two just to save scope because I was running out of time. So the coins just do everything, and you buy the coins in between. There's also originally a spin limit, so like you only had like 5 spins to get to your target, but you could still have up to 10 coins. I don't know if that was adding much, so I just cut it and just made it so that you have as many attempts as you have coins, and you always have infinite bad ones if you run out. So hopefully you don't get yourself in that situation. I really wanted there to be a whole lot of different coins, but I only had time for these ones I just kind of threw out in the moment to just kind of have like some test assets or tests kind of like things implemented. And so I just kind of, since I had it there, that's what we wound up releasing with. One idea though was like a kind of like a healing coin to get some life back. And I thought it'd be neat if it didn't heal you immediately, it put like a medicine or a heal result in the result pool. So hopefully you draw the thing that'll heal you. So I was thinking it'd be like a medicine coin because the effect's delayed. I thought it'd be kind of neat. Maybe kind of set up like a medicine combo to get big heals if you don't die first. Um, oh yeah, and used up a lot of the um the graphics, the sprite count here in Pico 8. You have a very limited kind of space for all your art. All these little black sections down here, that's all the art. You can have your entire game, and you can see we almost used all of it. I try to be more economical about this card thing because they all got the same back and you could just change the colors, but it would have been too weird for me to adjust this weird thing I found online to help me just rotate things really fast. I couldn't quite get it, so I just gave up and made them individual assets. But you can see there's space for like more coins, and I can get rid of these test things and have more space for that. That is Death Machine 3000. Oh, and I also got this big button for like a previous project. I thought it'd be really fun to reserve spins purely for pressing the big button. So I love the idea of like making a physical version of this and just having like a big old spin button that like, oh, when it's time to spin, boom, and just navigate with some arrow keys on the side. That's the game. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, I got one. So this is such a great foundation. Are you going to continue? Or are you burn out? You going to walk away or?
At 4 p.m. yesterday, I was like, I'm done. But then 4 p.m. today, I was like, I think I could make some. I kind of want to keep working on it, keep tinkering on it.
And if so, I know Pico 8 probably has its own like sound maker, right?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about sound for a game like this?
Oh man, so I've always believed that there was probably a lot a game developer could learn from studying slot machines, and the sounds in slot machines are so iconic, and some of the Pico 8 stuff really lines up with it. There's kind of like sirens, those are like ooh, ooh, ooh. So there was some thoughts of pulling into that. And I want to bring up my image here for context. One thing that was kind of like a happy surprise on the project was that like thematically it's kind of grim. I'm looking for some kind of spooky robot here. And I even originally had the idea that those spinners would be like it's these robot teeth, but it looked just like too doofy of a robot. But the pain ones are kind of drawing from like Binding of Isaac, like that kind of Newgrounds, like cringy, kind of grotesque kind of thing. But like cherries and grapes are super kind of fun, right? And just flashy. So I think it's kind of a nice little contrast of being like, look, bright cherries in this murderous apocalypse. So there's either the direction of like going like super fun with the sounds to kind of feed into that, or it could also be like a dying siren that's barely working. I don't know. Either way could work. It's just a choice to make. But I think it would add a lot. Oh yes, coin chunks as they slot in. I was thinking they could slot into the side of the head, and then the results could pop out the other side. Yeah, sound would add a lot. Unfortunately, I only got one sound, and it's this. So there's room to grow there. That does remind
Thank
me.
you,
There's also a
Eric.
sound effect. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I think we gotta move on. We got a bunch more games. Any last comments? Next is Tundra Tumble from Gabe. All right, thank you, Eric.
Hello,
and yeah,
hello.
go ahead, Gabe's team.
Hey, so I am Gabe. I did programming and I made 2 songs for this game as well. Other teammates, please feel free to unmute and introduce yourselves. All right.
Anyone else from the team here?
I see Naomi unmuted, but maybe her mic's not working. Anyways, I will just get into showcasing it, and hopefully that'll get worked out later. So basically, let me turn on my camera real quick so you can see my. Can you see my keyboard here? Okay, cool. So basically, for how we took the theme textural is we wanted to have some way that we could incorporate like the controls of the game as you actually feeling like the texture. And we were also inspired by the winter storm for this game. So Tundra Tumble, that's what it's called here. And since they weren't able to introduce themselves, we had Will helping with the programming, and then the art was all done by Naomi. So basically the controls of the game is you are swiping across any one of these letter rows of your keyboard, left or right to basically tell them where to go. So you're a little guy that just gets thrown off snowy mountainside, and you are just struggling to avoid these obstacles and whatnot. And then you also want to get these the collectibles of little guys, and then that's how you can replenish your lives. Yeah, without further ado, this is what it looks like. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's the game pretty much. One of my favorite things working on this game that I gotta do, that I've been wanting to do for a while, is I gotta actually just focus on the game feel. So like particles was something new for me. Screen shake, just experimenting with all the different ways you can make the game feel more alive, was definitely something I had a lot of fun experimenting with. Anybody has any questions, comments, or anything else from the rest of the team, please feel free.
I got my mic working. Hi.
Oh, nice.
Hi. I'm Naomi. I did the arts. This is my first time ever doing a game jam. First time working with other people on a video game. All the other times I did it by myself, and they came out very scuffed. So I'm very glad to have a working product. But that's just because I suck at programming, and these guys are awesome at programming. But it was very fun. We actually did have like a lot of we had to wrap our heads around like what textural meant, and so we tried to take that very literally. So we thought it was a very unique concept. But my personal experiences, I had a lot of fun. Very rudimentary animations because I can't animate, but it was very fun. I ended up working a lot faster than I thought I did. So, but it was, yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, it was really interesting, like coming up with the game idea, because I was so stumped, and I just ended up like, texture, and just started like like touching things on the table or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm like, that has textures, and then I do this with my keys, and I'm like, well, that's a texture right there. That's our game.
Yeah, it was very much, we went through like several different iterations of like, what can we do that other people wouldn't do? So we decided to take it very, very literally, being like texture, not how the game is held, but how people interact with it, which we thought was very clever.
So, any questions?
I love how it's like an alternate control system. Like alt control kind of thing, but it uses a keyboard. So it's like it's a very traditional controller used in a very untraditional way.
I've definitely never played a game where I'm just rubbing my finger across a keyboard. So yeah, it was really interesting, and I was also just surprised with how I was able to pull that off, because at first I had no idea how I was going to program that. It started with like 4 keys, and then I'm like, I want to just use the whole keyboard. That way it'll be easier to explain. So.
Well, will it only work on QWERTY layouts? Or how did you program it to like know which row you're on?
So it doesn't actually know what row you're on. Basically, it's packed into a giant array from Q to M, and it just goes off of like the index of the array. So basically, it's like the index. If it's an index previous, then it's that amount of acceleration that it adds to your velocity. and same like if it's index ahead of it.
So it does assume a QWERTY layout.
Oh, that was the question. Yes. Yes, it does assume a QWERTY layout.
Love the logo design. Simple and
Thanks. That's kind
effective.
of my default for logos, where it's just like, pseudo gradients everywhere. But there's a bunch of like also pseudo animations, i.e. my go-to animation process. There's actually like I think one asset that was unused, and it was just the little kid just dead on the ground. Wait, hold on. I think I can send photos, right? Yeah, there you go. But
Oh,
it was really fun to work on this. I'd love this thing. I'd love to do it again.
Awesome. Yeah, it was a ton of fun. This was a lot of fun to work on. I've been not working on games for the past few months. Been just kind of out of it, and this reignited my spark. So yeah, I'm really grateful for the opportunity and to work with Naomi and Will on this.
I'd love to work with you guys again.
yeah, and thanks so much for participating. Obviously, we can't do this without you guys, so awesome to see this. And then next up, we have Art Thief. Do we have any volunteers who want to try it? Someone with a mouse.
Someone with a mouse.
Can try, but while we get that set up, feel free to introduce.
So Art Thief is wouldn't quite call it a game because there's no win-lose condition, but it does evaluate your performance. You get an image on the left side from the National Portrait Gallery, and then you have a little kind of simple paint window on the right side, and you're supposed to recreate that image. This is an incomplete personal page, but I wanted to satisfy the Web 5.0 modifier. So there is something hidden on this page that will take you to the game.
Oh, this is cool.
Yeah, there's that QR code there. You can use your phone. It also becomes clickable on desktop when you bring them together like that. And then you see that it is available on mobile. I've tried it on some phones. Things don't work perfectly, but that was to satisfy the mobile modifier as well. Click the little text box. Yeah, I couldn't get the button to work. But yeah, it works on desktop, works on mobile. And then when you're ready, you hit finish there, and it'll tell you how well you did. So, and then next we'll just give you a different one. You can also just like refresh the page if you want. And then if it's not similar enough, you can retry as well. The National Portrait Gallery was to satisfy the this belongs in a museum modifier. So the way that the evaluation works is for the what I call the target image, which is what you're trying to draw. It has kind of, most of these pictures have kind of a white border around them. That does not count towards your art. So you can, typically ignore that. So just focus on the core image in the middle. You start out with a blank canvas. So if you were to just immediately hit finished, it would say 0%. It only counts the pixels that you've actually drawn on. 92% similar. So what this does, as you can see here, is it takes both images, scales them down to 16 by 16. In the background, you're not seeing it, but they're converting it. It's converting it to grayscale. And then it just kind of, it does a somewhat mathematical comparison of the two different like brightness values. And then, gives you like a percentage based on that. It's not like a perfect literally how many pixels are similar percentage. It's called mean squared error. It's like I don't really get the math. I got it off Google, but after lots of playing around with it, I finally got it to a point where I kind of like it. I'll say that the strategy here is to I think just kind of really look at the colors and the light in here and not so much the details. But I think the best strategy really is to just try to recreate the image as best you can. I thought a fun thing to do with this would be to make like a multiplayer version of it. So you both have like 2 minutes, a minute or 2 minutes, and then you submit, and then whoever had the most similar image wins. But yeah, that's really all there is to it. I guess I would call this a game mechanic more than a full game, because like I said, there's no win lose. It's more like a toy.
I didn't go to art school, so don't judge me.
My submission statement for for the texture theme is like I guess you are creating the textures. And I thought I was being really clever, and then I saw Smush or Smudge or whatever it's called also did a kind of painting themed game, but with honey and other things you smear on the table.
I really feel like this game / toy would be great for like parties, just like hanging out with friends, trying to see who makes the best recreation.
Yeah. Like I said, I really wanted to do like a multiplayer thing, but I started working on this on Sunday. Like I didn't do anything for it on Saturday. It's all, I mean, from the technical side, it's all just JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. There's no libraries or anything. It's not an engine. It's just regular web development stuff. What I would say I would do in the future is I went to the National Portrait Gallery and downloaded. They had like 13,000 images you can download, and I was going to use all of them, but I had storage issues and I just didn't feel like dealing with it. So I just grabbed the first 100 from that list. What I would do in the future is I would pick only kind of darker images, because I noticed that the ones that are like lighter, it's really easy to just paint the entire canvas white and then, win. And then I might also make a more color sensitive kind of comparison algorithm as well. But yeah,
It does remind me of like the Mario Party game where you're trying to make Mario's face.
I think I showed this to someone and they said, "Isn't that like a Mario Party game?" And it sounded familiar, but like I don't remember if I played it or not.
It was very addictive.
So I like that little color picker. Originally, I just used the built-in one, and then I tested it on the iPhone, and I learned the iPhone does not have a built-in color picker element. So when you opened it, nothing happened. So then I had to really quickly find like a plugin for this one. So this is just like a jQuery plugin, even though I'm not using jQuery anywhere else in this. For those who don't know, jQuery is what all websites were made out of in 2010. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Lots of places to improve, but I'm pretty happy with it.
All right. Any other comments?
%. I can see the similarity.
33. Awesome. Thanks, Colin. Let's see. Next, we've got Tyler.
Hello.
Hey.
I think maybe my audio guy will be ready. He was
Yeah,
asking if we could jump back some, but
I'm here for another
Okay.
10 minutes. I gotta go for 30 and then I can jump back on. But I'm here for 10 more minutes.
Can one of you download our game, Moomin, or Val, or somebody, and play it? It's a Windows build.
Yes. Where is it in the
It
channel?
is. It's called like Weave Machine or something.
Weave Machine.
Simple Eric is the uploader.
Yes. Okay, that will take a while to download, so let's do Brian first.
Hello.
Hey.
My sound person, I think he's going to be the one streaming. If not, we can post the link. It's got a in browser thing. Oh, he's got it. So this is Feel for You. We went with when we thought of like textural, we were thinking of like, I heard like aural in there, like of sound. And we were also thinking of like feeling or something like that, like how you like feel textures. So we thought of a character that can't feel, or a character that can't feel a robot, and a character that can't see like a human, and kind of like playing this Simon Says type game of getting through like a maze where like the robot is dictating things to you, uh, and the blind character is like feeling on the ground, feeling the textures, and kind of like using that input to like make it through a level essentially. And there's like 3 levels. I don't think the sound's working, but
Can you hear it?
no, I don't think so. When the game starts, or when a level starts, it like plays a sequence, a like sound sequence for like a pattern, the pattern of that the robot is also going to be like speaking to you. It's essentially kind of like a setup of like the robot going through the level, going through the path itself, and the just being able to hear that. And then the character can kind of like feel on the ground using like the WASD keys on each like tile to, it'll like make that sound, that same sound of the pattern, and like tell you what that specific texture is. And you kind of like match that with what the robot is saying, and to move forward, essentially.
Did you try sharing with the checkbox for the audio? Or is the audio just not working?
It works in game. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, can you try to reshare the screen with the share audio checkbox?
Yeah, let me try that.
Seems important for this one. I love the focus on audio in this set of games. Awesome job with all that.
Maybe it's because the talk we saw beforehand focused on audio a lot.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear it now?
Nah,
No.
Still no audio coming through.
Okay.
Like I said, it's a browser game. We can just drop the link. Maybe it'll work on someone else.
That's okay. Any more comments on that one?
Okay, let me
Let me try to share over here.
Yeah, sure.
Can you hear this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something grainy.
Oh yeah, there's also text to speech from the robot as well, like a native thing in Godot.
Something grainy. Something rustly. Something grainy. Something rustly. Something grainy.
No.
Something grainy. Something rustly. 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 Something grainy. Something wet. Something solid.
I'm kind of using like this one pixel on the edge of the
Yeah,
circle
Wow, cheater.
to cheat. No, yeah, that's cool. I like how it's like a rhythm game, but
Something rustly.
you have to take your time.
Yeah, it kind of creates a hypnotic beat, the robot audio and the sound.
Something solid. Something wet. Something rustly.
No.
Something rustly.
Any other comments?
Something grainy. Something solid. Something wet. Something rustly.
Oh. All right.
Nice.
Great, thank you. Feel for you, team. I do have the other game downloaded now. I think Alex said.
Yeah, Alexander had to run off, so you can just keep throwing people ahead of us, I guess, and he might be back.
Okay. I don't think we'll be 30 minutes, but we can do Mech Mama next.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. So, here's I'm going to post it on the thread. Here's our game. It's kind of big, so it won't be because it's built in Unreal. We didn't have we were having issues in regards to being so large, but we were able to do it. So, so I myself, Angel, what do you call it, as well as Isaiah, the artist. The developers are Oren and KV. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Can you see my screen? Okay.
Yes.
So we built this.
No audio though.
We wanted to go ahead and kind of it's our we have years of experience in game development, especially for me. I've been doing game jams for a long time. Where we got a lot of us are in the industry, 3D artists and such. So when we were thinking about the theme, we were kind of like, what can we build? So we created an escape room for simple mechanics, and we were playing around with the textures, especially in the 70s, kind of like what do you call it, McDonald's or restaurants. They were very so much textures versus what it is now. So it has that feel of 70s feel. So kind of like trying to solve elements. You kind of like move things around. Oops. Let's see.
Do you have audio, Angela?
Oh no,
okay.
we didn't have time to go ahead and implement it. Sorry for that. So I'll just go rush through the puzzle element. You kind of like figuring out, oh hey, look, there's a fake wall. Let me put in a key. It's like what else can I have unlocked? With this environment. Oh hey, like kind of like push things around. So kind of like unlock something. I'm just going through this really quickly, so we can kind of like showcase all the environments. Kind of like, oh hey, so I did a lot of the where I got a 3D art as well as Angel. Angel did a lot of the texturing from the walls to the bricks as well as the booths. Oh shoot, what happened to the booths? Oh, there it is. The booth he built as well as the keys. We were wanting to do more elements. Oh, Isaiah's tree is gone. We used to have a tree here, but yeah. So this is our game. KV, if you have any suggestions, say hi, or Oren if you're online, or any of our teams, feel free to hop in. So yeah, again, kind of super ambitious for a game jam. We're 3D artists, so especially in environments and hard surface, so we wanted to go ahead and capitalize on stuff that we can showcase and be proud of for such a short period. Plus, this is the second game in regards to this weekend. I was actually part of Moment's team, and I built their environments as well. So, if you have any questions, do feel free to ask.
And I don't know if you can hear me. I'm KV. I was one of the programmers for the game. I had a lot of fun trying to dive into Unreal. Like Angela said, a lot of us are like industry or industry adjacent 3D modelers and artists. So it was kind of fun diving into the development side, getting to learn blueprints, getting to bash my head against the screen of my computer multiple times. I think if we had more time, we would probably try to do more with textures, have them incorporated into our puzzles, so that if you grab like a key, a texture on the wall would change to let you know that that key was associated with it. But overall, other than lack of sleep, had a great time.
I love the vibe that it has. It's like nostalgic, but also creepy.
It would have been more creepy if the tree was there. There was a tree there. I was like, oh.
Tree was an absolute nightmare to look at. I will have dreams about that tree.
I feel like if you can get the right soundtrack for that environment, then it would really bump up the nightmare factor.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's a tree in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh
Horrifying tree.
my God.
It was fun, especially balancing two games at one time. Hey, wait, I apologize.
Yeah, you stretched hard.
Yeah, I apologize for not helping as much as I can in our team, but I was balancing two worlds.
Oh no, it turned out great. Yeah, we definitely have people in the past who've done multiple teams, and I think that's a really cool challenge for a gym as well, because that's also like realistic, in the real world. So that's cool. Okay, any more comments? think we'll do Jeff next. Jeff's team.
Yeah, we could do that. Could we have someone playing the game?
Do we have a volunteer to play?
I just shared the link in the chat.
I will volunteer once again.
Thank you,
Oh, I
Moment.
just got it.
Do you wanna try it, Alex?
Sure.
Go for it.
Let's see here. Share sound
Share
and
sound and
optimize.
video.
Yeah.
Nice.
Here we go.
And so we had a team of 4. We'll do some quick introductions while Alex is pulling that up. I'm Jeff. I did the programming, and Shelby's with me as well.
Hi, I'm Shelby. I did the writing for the game.
And then I see James as well.
You guys can see it, right?
Yeah, I did the audio on this game, sound effects, audio implementation, and music.
And then we had Sophia as well, which I don't think she's here in on the meeting, but she did the art as well for the game.
I believe this game might need some explanation. Yeah, you basically just move this mouse around as the map continues to move along with the camera. And if your player character, this computer mouse, goes off screen, you die, you lose. Game over.
You have failed the internet.
Exactly, you lost the internet.
The little reaction emojis blend in with the pop-ups, which is very fun.
Yeah, so when you collect those items, it zooms out the camera up to a maximum. Right now it's at the maximum point. And when you go through those orange blob things, those are the different rough terrain. When you go through that, it slows you down and also zooms in the camera. And so when zoomed in, you're at a disadvantage because you're more likely to go off screen. So you kind of want to pick up those items to make sure that your camera stays zoomed out, so that way you have a higher chance of surviving. There's also some audio implementation stuff that's going on with that zoom level. It's a little bit subtle, but based on the zoom level, it'll sound closer or further away, a lot of the sounds. So there'll be more reverb that gets introduced when you're further away, and then when it zooms in, it sounds like it's more right in front of you. And then if you get to like a critical level of zoom in, it kind of sounds low passed as well, like it kind of muffles the sound. So also there is this bug in this game where, because the mouse is always on a 2D layer, if you fall off the map, you can kind of just fly around because it's still visible no matter where you are. Sophia, actually Shelby, also wrote up a bunch of these story bits, where for up to 15 of the items that you collect, it'll unlock these different story bits. Maybe we should have scaled that differently because we didn't realize how many items you'd really be collecting. But the idea was to have some kind of like story that could unravel as you collect more of the items. So yeah, that was the idea. And then there's just some memes in there. I guess Beetlejuice, have your obligatory Gen Alpha statement on page 15. Yep, there it is.
No.
Yeah. And and then Sophia did all of the art, as well as those pop-ups that you see scrolling up. There's the bean. Did you catch the bean? There he is. Bean is in the game.
Yeah, I was going to say that I did notice a lot of the adaptive audio that's going on here. Did you use any sort of middleware for it?
Yeah, this is using Fmod for the middleware. We were experiencing some kind of audio crackle. It might not be too noticeable during the stream, but we weren't exactly able to figure out why the audio crackle is happening. Some kind of performance issue, but yeah.
Yeah, I really like how the audio turned out. It's my first time we had worked with Fmod, and so doing some integration there. Kind of first time really leaning into that Fmod stuff. So But yeah, there are inevitably a few different things that didn't quite make it. Mouse was supposed to have a mouse tail, either through kind of like particle effects or splines, but ran into various issues getting that to look quite right. So
Now it's a wireless mouse.
oh yeah, we went through a lot of different control schemes to try to get something that felt right, and I think one of the takeaways is, kind of thinking back to Eric earlier of like maybe try to early on prototype something that feels good, but it's always kind of a struggle to figure out like what to focus on first in game jams, at least for me.
Yeah, we did try mouse controls. I mean, that would make the most sense. You're a mouse, so of course you would move it with a mouse. But we couldn't get the feel to quite work right because of the camera movement and all of that, and like how the game pushes you along. So we just settled for keyboard controls. So
yeah, there's a bit of fighting with Z layers too that's going on, which I just saw. But yeah, that is the mouse in the computer, or rather, there is a mouse in the computer, all caps. But yeah, any questions? I know we're kind of running late here, but I had a great time, and yeah, liked how everything kind of came together. I think similar to other things I've heard, like it's my first time coming back in a while, and I thought we had scoped down narrowly, but inevitably it felt like we still had a kind of too big of a scope. So the recurring theme of like scope small and then scope even smaller. So
I love the notes like
so it's great. What was that?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that, being able to kind of layer in as someone who's not a programmer nor an artist. It was fun to also see the process and just what it takes to go into making something like this was just really cool.
Yeah, well, thanks, y'all.
If you guys have any questions, I don't know if we have time for those, but if there's any questions, we can take those.
Definitely have time. Did you start with that kind of like dreamy aesthetic for the music, or
yeah,
did
we
you
came
kinda...
up with we were trying to figure out what aesthetic we wanted to go with. Because we basically were just like, okay, we need to have some kind of texture and something going down a slope. So like the initial development was just okay, a ball rolling down a hill. And now what places could you imagine that being in? Well, you could maybe have like a skier down a mountain, or you could have some guy like surfing in the ocean or something. But then we also thought about like the mountain theme and kind of how it looks like the Windows Vista or Windows XP background, and then that kind of led to let's do this like early 2000s aesthetic, sort of computer aesthetic led into that. And so then the music kind of, I wanted it to kind of have a bit of that like 2000s mysteryness to it, along with a lot of the sound effects too. I also like ripped the Windows 7 like error sound for the back sound, which I don't know if you could hear that in the story notes section, but yeah, it was fun. And like the mouse clicking sounds. So all right, thank you all.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, y'all.
Next we'll have Val's team.
It's just me.
Solo Val.
Just me. I didn't make a game. I made a toy. I'm an artist. I'm not really a programmer. I've been trying to dip more into scripting and shaders and stuff. So let me show you Meow Station 99. Give me just a moment to share it. Oh, not share sound. Where is it? Oh. One moment. It's not picking up my little window. There we go. Okay. Can y'all see? So it's an audio visualizer. So it's reacting, all the images and models and stuff in the scene are reacting to my mic input. So the bars in the background are scaling based on the frequency. And then the watermelons also respond to a really low, like a baseline frequency. So they're probably not going to respond to my voice, but when I had a track with like a baseline in it, they were bouncing to that. So basically, I wanted to make something where the character's body, the character's head, are two separate like animation layers, so that I can use this later to have like all kinds of little dances that the cat can do, and have everything kind of be like based on the BPM of the song and whatever, so that maybe we can use it like before jams. We can have like a playlist of things that I feed in from some other software, and we can have like the music playing, and maybe the colors and stuff are kind of drawn by what's dynamically found in the music and things like that. So it's kind of a little tool that I hope we can use for jam stuff in the future. But for me, it was more just like, oh, how do I figure out like how to get all these pieces to talk to each other so that I can kind of set myself up for later. And so it's like really bare bones for what I was able to do for the jam. But I thought it would be fun to be like, oh, RVA Game Jam's branding is kind of like this blender of taking all of these different skills people have and combining them together. So I made this little blender cat. It kind of just like took our colors and kind of got some of those ideas of like, oh, what would be like fun and cute and kind of nostalgic and exciting and upbeat. And so it's a smoothie themed visualizer. That's my game for our local game jam. So I wrote all the shaders and stuff, the toon shader and the glass shader and the liquid shader, everything. I kind of like, was my starting point. I wanted to make some satisfying materials to kind of go with the textural theme. And then the rest of the idea just kind of came from there.
Very, very cute.
Yeah,
This is amazing.
awesome.
We should have this guy kick off the next RVA Game Jams Direct.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. I wonder if this Blender cat was made in Blender.
Oh yeah. Everything's made in Blender for me now.
So when I've used shaders in the past, I'm just copying shit off the internet that's supposed to do X, Y, or Z. When you say you're writing shaders, Val, are you like, I need to do this certain thing, and you're changing the pixels around?
Yeah, a lot of it is like controlling how something highlights and things like that for like a tune effect. You're trying to be like, oh, I only want the highlight to look like this simplified version of like where the light hits, and you kind of say like, oh, I want to really dial it in so there's no soft fall off. That's kind of what's happening on the glass is it's you're just reading that information from a directional light. And then you're saying, I don't want to see anything except for the parts that hit in this at this point, and you can kind of like tweak how much, even in the material. I can be like, it can have a little bit of a soft fall off, or it can be really tight and it can be really, really small and you don't see very many highlights at all, or it can be bigger and more generalized for like a different material.
Okay.
And so you can see like the green on the body doesn't have, it's like soft, like the lighting is soft, and it doesn't have that specular, like bright white highlight. But they're all running off of the same shader. So it's like, I want one shader that can kind of do all of these things.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, I'm making like a tune shader that works for different use cases, basically. And then if I control everything that way, that means they all handle lighting the same way. And if I can kind of keep things like stable through the whole project, because they're all like, when you get like an asset pack of like, this is a water shader and this is like a tune shader, sometimes those things don't handle light or whatever the same way, and then they're mismatched, or one is unlit and doesn't have shadow. You have to, it like keeps everything unified. So I'm trying to challenge myself to do more stuff like that, like technical setup and character setup and things
That's
like
so
that.
cool. Like to be able to be intentional, like you're saying, instead of like just grabbing the water shader or this, like that's been not connected in my brain how people can do that. It's so cool.
How do you do the microphone analysis?
Oh, it's just a plugin called LASP. It was a Unity developer in Japan, Japanese guy, who has a bunch of Unity packages that you can just grab from the Unity package manager, actually. I actually looked at so many things. I was like, maybe I can figure it out. I don't know how to do that. I looked at a bunch of different people's methods of getting like audio spectrum data, and it was just like, oh, I don't know how to do that, but I can connect it to like a particle system or whatever if someone else tells me how to get that info. So it made it pretty easy. It has hooks for like scaling objects or initializing particles or something directly from the spectrum data, and then you can kind of tweak like which spectrum you want or which band you want. So it made it pretty easy.
I looked it up. It is Keijiro.
Yes. Yeah, he's done all the good stuff apparently.
Keijiro has like single-handedly kept Unity
Yeah.
good for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
I feel like we used that like years ago. Tyler and I did a audio reactive project, and we probably used the same thing.
Yeah, I think we used it was like a Google something that they released for free, I think. But yeah, definitely used Keijiro stuff in a million things.
Yeah.
Oh.
What flavor smoothie is it, Val?
Pink.
Is the like fluid simulation a shader too?
Yeah, it's actually it's not really a simulation. It's more like it's a script hooked up to like kind of a masking shader basically. So there's masks for each direction, and then it gets multiplied by the velocity of the thing moving around. So you can kind of change the level. It's like the actual model for the liquid is the same as the container, so it's the cat head with the ears and everything. And then you just smush it down and add the shader to it, and then you can kind of control how high the liquid level goes. And it looks pretty good if you're rotating or moving it around. It will not actually look like a simulation like it splashes, but it will kind of conform to the container pretty nicely. So it's like a nice fake tool.
It looks like what they use in like Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah, I
in
think
like the water bottles.
I think it's pretty much the same. There's probably just is a little bit more, has more of like fine detail for more realistic liquid.
I think the first time I saw that was Left 4 Dead 2, I think, from Valve. So is what it's doing, is it drawing like a mesh on top, or is it just the mesh on the inside is green and you're just showing the kind of, because I can see like at a certain angle, like part of the neck poking through the bottom of the head.
Yeah, it's the green part is like recreating the intersection point where you're like clipping the things from view basically, and then you add like another section where you're like, okay, and then where these parts are overlapping, change the color to this so that it looks like a slice. But yeah, it's using like vertex position stuff and like camera view angle stuff.
What was the go-to track for testing this?
Oh, there's this game called Super Crazy Rhythm Castle, and it has royalty-free music. Maybe Ryan can post it while I'm talking. That would be amazing. It's this royalty-free children's track called Time to Wiggle, and it's really good. And it gets stuck in my head every time we use it. And I did that, and actually the music that people submitted for the pre-jam, we had some audio folks like write some new stuff or submit some stuff that kind of fit the vibe of the flyer for local game jam. So I had them in my downloads folder. So I was using those to kind of get different textures, but Time to Wiggle was just like, that's the go-to.
Oh, that's awesome. The pre-jam music was exactly what I was thinking of. Like, I wanted to see this thing dancing too. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's the vision for sure.
Okay, I think we have time for one last demo. Do you know if Alexander is back, Tyler?
I don't think so, but he might pop up while we're going.
Let's see.
So I think this cannot full screen, so it'll just be like whatever little size that it is.
Sure. Can you hear it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Let me see. Yeah, it's max volume.
Okay. So let's see. We
Okay.
had Alexander for sound, and Eric was programmer, and I did kind of whatever else, like design, art, things of that nature. So I will not explain what's happening.
No.
This one has the coolest art so far. No offense to everyone else, but this is trippy. This is sick.
I love the music track.
Yeah, so we had like kind of different music with different buttons and things, but I don't think most of it got added. So like some of it kind of exists. Like they would probably explain more, but like there were different color buttons and things. So there is like a logic to what's happening, but
I'm sure there is.
You're also switching it while it's running, which also changes it live. So that makes it kind of harder to necessarily tell what's happening. There you go, you made some socks.
Is that a glitchy video of your turntable thing?
No, so there is a sock making like machine, like a knitting machine. So instead of knitting it by hand, you can have one of these machines and it makes a sock very fast. So I made a 3D model animation in Blender of that, and then I filmed that with my glitchy baby camera. So I have a circuit bent baby camera that just takes horrific pictures if no one's seen it before. That's what pretty much all these textures are too. Like I'm using the glitchy baby camera photos on everything. So the yarn is the baby camera photos just repeated a million times. So that's where they have this weird glitchy effect in the yarn, and the baby camera can record video. So I just filmed the animation through the camera, and then we stuck that in as a video that plays when you activate it. But basically, I have to kind of remember what these buttons are doing. But I think the top buttons are your yarn color. The bottom ones are the weave. So you can change it while it's like operational, but it's basically going left to right and doing it like in sequence.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out, but okay, so here it's changing.
Yeah, so because your yellow buttons, you've picked the middle yellow, so now it shows the different set of yarn. And also it shows a different like style. And then it'll switch again here in a second, and it'll do the last style and the last pattern.
Okay, I get it now.
So we could potentially do more. Eric was just struggling putting everything in at the last second, as you tend to do in a game jam. So we could potentially keep expanding it, or do like I think the socks are just a mask. So you could do like a hat or a sweater or whatever shape. And I think in theory, it's like you would select a button and it plays a track, kind of like some of the other games we've done. So like it builds the soundtrack as you select buttons, and so the completed song it varies depending on what buttons you press, which may or may not exist in this version, but that's how the music is arranged. So they're like little individual elements. And that's basically it.
How did y'all come to this idea?
So at I guess at the meetup, Eric and Alexander were there for a little bit, and so they kind of came up with some ideas, and they were like, "Here's what we were thinking," and I was like, "Yeah, just do most of those in one game." So they were kind of like, "What if we do something with yarn? What if we do something with like a music sequencer?" And I'm like, "Yeah, just do that, like make a sock or something." So that's how they started.
Does a sock machine controller look anything like this?
It looks like the video. It's like a bunch of hooks, and so that thing that spins around like feeds the thread, and it moves the hooks up and down, and so it grabs the thread and like adds the top layer of the sock because you're basically making like a tube. So there's like hand cranked versions like in like ye old days, but basically it's like as fast as you can spin it, that's how fast you can complete the sock. So where if you're knitting it with like giant needles, like you have to go insanely slow. I was trying to explain the machine to them, and I don't think they understood either, but I was like, it looks like this, basically.
Once you get it, it's pretty fun to do it like live.
Yeah, so yeah, you can kind of like remix it almost like a DJ thing or something.
Yeah. That is cool. All right. I think that's everyone. Let me know if we did not get a chance to share your game.
I didn't see my game get played.
Okay. Did you link it?
Yes.
Or someone from your team?
It should be the cow one.
Can you post it again?
Is it the most accurate simulation one of rural Texas?
Yeah, that should be it.
So I think it's that one.
Could I get a volunteer of someone to play it?
I could try it out. I just gotta download it real quick.
Sure, perfect.
James, can you post yours again as well?
My
or James McDowell.
Oh.
Okay.
Let me extract my files. All right.
Perfect. This game was made by me and my sister. We thought, okay, what fits the theme? And we came up with pod text pun for it being text, and for textural, it's text rural.
Oh.
So, rural.
Did you just download a virus to my computer?
Yeah, so you just press the install virus button.
Oh no. I should not have ran this as administrator. What did I do? Bro. So
gotta keep watering your plant.
Gotta keep watering the plants. Okay, I click the plants to water them. And do I have
all the art was done by my sister, and all the coding was done by me.
Do I click on that, or is that going to give me a virus?
Well, you can avoid clicking on it.
It seems like bait. Oh. Uh-oh. It seems like I have no other choice now. Oh, virus installed.
She actually had to reanimate the walk 3 times because she's not used to animation.
Wow, this is cool. Am I supposed to like keep the cows off of my plants?
Well, you can press the close button to kill them.
Oh, exactly. Die.
How did you do like the desktop transparent?
Oh, I made it so that every single black pixel is made transparent, and it plays on top. Is always on top of your desktop, and you can click through it. So the black pixels are the ones you can click through. Meanwhile, anything that isn't a black pixel, you can't click through. Which led to some problems because my sister used black for quite a few things, so she had to change the color.
Wow.
My high score is 6,000.
6,000? Gonna be here a long time. You get points for killing the cows?
Well, no, you get points for getting your crops.
And do I do that by just clicking on it?
Yep, eventually they grow and they go up to
Oh,
the
okay.
proper. Yeah.
Gotcha. So the faster I click on it, the faster they grow. Ah, there we go. Okay. Just have to click it a bunch.
And eventually cows appear quicker and quicker and quicker.
I'm the sister that drew the art, and the reason why we went with Texas was because our dad is from Texas, and he won't stop bragging about it, and we thought it'd be fun to make a game for him.
That's awesome.
I love the
Oh, you gotta get the top and the top left. No!
What just happened?
More crops appear as it goes on, so.
Oh, more crops appear.
Yeah, there was one in the top left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And depending on which wave you're on, it speeds up, which it increases the multiplier that you get for your crops.
The crops appear in each corner, just so you know.
Gotcha. I can't reposition my crops, right?
No, you can't. You can just reposition the cows.
I've been to Texas once, and now I feel like I've been to Texas twice.
This is pretty accurate, actually. I went to Dallas.
Yeah, I was surprised by the amount of cows.
The only thing missing is just endless roads and no sidewalks.
Yep, definitely.
Oh, wait, this is rural Texas. I guess that's different.
I love the interpretation of textural as rural.
Yeah, text rural, yeah.
One of my favorite parts about drawing the art was I got to draw the cow next to my dad, and he kept on telling me to put a star on the cow's hat, but I felt like it kept on making it look too complicated, so I put a star on the game over screen instead.
Yeah, we were originally going to go for a different idea where you were drawing to protect a little guy, but we didn't go with that one because I couldn't figure out how to make the paint look textural to fit the theme. So I just decided to go for our second idea, which was about cows. This is my first game jam, and most likely I think it counts as her first game she's worked on. So
yeah,
this is your first game jam?
Yeah, this is my first game jam.
Wow, that's a really novel idea for our first game jam, and also like trying to do like the screen pass through idea.
Yeah, I've made a desktop pet before, so I understood that bit about it.
And this is like super creative.
Where's my score? Oh, there it is, 1900.
Yeah, it's supposed to be in at the absolute top right corner, but the UI doesn't seem to be scaling properly.
This is a 4K screen, so maybe that's
Yeah, yeah. I never was able to figure out the scale UI with Unity.
God, I gotta turn on my gamer mode. You guys are going crazy.
James is locking in.
I gotta lock in. I'm not using my.
Oh no,
gaming
you've got
mouse right
4 crops.
I want to see
I'm
the
so
top
scared
score.
that I'm gonna accidentally click on like.
Ah!
You just need like 2 more corn, man.
So many cows. Oh my
No,
god.
don't beat my high score.
I think I beat it. Yeah.
Ah!
Oh my god. I've never had to lock in so hard before.
He's locked in.
There might be a bit too many cows.
Get off my screen. Oh, that was close.
I've
Come
always
on.
wondered when playing games like From Software games if game developers enjoy players suffering.
This is the
But
final
yeah,
boss.
they absolutely.
Oh god, there's too many now. I can't get to my crop. And it's lagging. There's too many cows.
No, no!
Bro, you genuinely installed a virus on my computer.
10,000!
Yeah, I'm kind of a gamer.
10,000.
Perfect.
Wow, that was really cool.
Very nice job.
Thanks.
What engine was this in?
I did it in Unity.
Okay, nice.
Though I think transparency is way easier to do, like in Godot.
That's a really cool idea. Okay, any more comments? Okay, thanks, y'all. We will go to James McDowell's. And if anyone else has another game that they haven't shown, please just post it again.
First of all, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm working on very limited bandwidth at Jamrock Coffee. So I'm gonna need somebody to play my game because of the bandwidth issue.
Cool. I'm playing it
and
now.
start over, please. Start over, please. Refresh the page. Okay. So it's a narrative game, and it's an experience, and it's pretty dark. It's like it's a dystopian fiction, far future, like to the point where like the sun is almost dying, and it's pretty bleak and very dark. But that's my brain. So I can go ahead and start, I guess. now you can go ahead and begin. That's just the opening cutscene. So this is a walking simulator. And for complete transparency, I used like GPT for like 99.9% of the programming. And as you just saw, you can't like escape the island by swimming. You'll just drown.
Wow, looks like this would have taken a lot of effort.
So yeah, for more transparency's sake, this was all preloaded. Like I've been working on this project for some time. The only thing that I did for the game jam was the opening cinematic, and all the graphics were drawn by me and my hands, no AI use.
Nice.
As for the game itself, I used AI like almost exclusively.
I was gonna say the opening cutscene was pretty elaborate.
Thank you. I'm trying to break out into being a game artist because I'm a web developer. This stuff bores me now, and I want to break into like doing art assets. Not that, you know, programming isn't a challenge and it's not fun. It's just that I'm really burnt out.
Totally get it. Ooh, okay. Is there a place I should be going?
You should be trying to escape this island through any means possible.
Okay.
Because like the premise of the game is you're an immortal, you can't die, and you keep respawning every time you die.
What engine is this?
No.
Custom.
That's what. Yeah.
I built it with GPT and patience.
Did it?
So is it using WebGL?
Yeah, I'm using 3.js and WebGL, and I'm really just building this as a sort of demo to future employers, being like, "Hey, I can do things that aren't, you know, like CRUD apps." I would rather like seriously die than build another business app.
Well, this is cool. I'm guessing this is the way.
Try it. See what happens.
Wow.
So there is another way to die, and that's if you try to climb trees. But to keep this short, I'm just going to let you all know that there is no way to win. It's that bleak.
Wow. Yeah, the vibe is cool though.
Thank you. Oh, and also, the music, that was done by a human too. That was done by my best friend, of whom is a sound engineer. And like, he knows that I have anxiety and depression. So like, I told him like, just produce something that sounds like me. And also, if you don't hold down shift and walk, you'll hear the sound of snow. That was actually recorded by me last night out in the snow. And that's my contribution to the textural theme.
Very cool. It does have that icy crunch that we had yesterday.
Yeah, I was really aiming for that. And it's like a complete coincidence that we had a snowstorm and that I happened to had already built a tundra island or an Arctic island. But if you do try to climb a tree, it's probably easiest up by the castle where there's raised land. If you do try and land on a branch, you'll see that you'll get another what I call death poems. Honestly, the writing could be better. I did write that stuff with my brain, but one of the time constraints, y'all get it.
Nice.
And I had to test this in like 4 different popular browsers. And it all works the same no matter what browser you use.
Any other comments?
And that's it. And if any of y'all have keen, he's really good.
It's real spooky.
Thank you. Like, this is what my brain feels like.
Sorry. This is pretty despairful indeed.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I'm making the best of it.
I like the colors.
Yep. Those
Cool.
I was trying to go for like tune shading effects, which is also a GPT effect. Like I told it, like, hey, can you make some tune shading? And it did it. So there's no actual textures yet. I'm working on 3D modeling, but I still suck at it. And it is indeed possible to import 3D models into WebGL, and that's awesome.
Is there any intention to add a way to win, or more ways to die coming?
Yeah. Honestly, it's supposed to be more of a narrative experience, a walking simulator. But that's one of the things I wanted to do as part of the scope of this jam was just get a couple of ways to die. I originally was going to have a nuclear meltdown happen, and that would be one of the ways you could die. But I didn't have time to model the assets for that. But if there's like any way to die that's terrible, a nuclear meltdown is probably one of the worst. And
cool. Yeah.
If
Thanks.
y'all have keen ears, never mind.
Oh no, go for it.
Oh, y'all might recognize that like GoldenEye sound if y'all are of a certain age. My friend made that too. He made that by slowing down a tambourine, which is pretty fun.
It does have that old school FPS feel.
Yeah, I was kind of like going on the vibe of the original Doom, where you're just kind of like stuck on the shores of hell forever. That was basically the impetus for this project.
I think I heard the tambourine. It's that. Yeah,
it's just a really slowed down tambourine. That's all that GoldenEye sound really is.
Nice. Yeah, thanks for sharing. And then I saw Alexander came back. Did you want to talk a bit about the music in Weave Machine? We already saw the gameplay a bit, but I can share it again.
Sure. Where to start? Yeah, so there's 4 tracks that I made to the actual gameplay, and I wanted them to each have their own different texture. So one was like a hip hop, another was like a synthy, like not really Eurobeat, but like a EDM sort of thing, and then like deep industrial, and then like a funk jazz. But they're all in the same BPMs, which is hard because like the BPM range for those types of genres is very different. But they're all in the same key, and so I wanted to use different instruments, but like you could glue them together, it would make like an incorrect song, but more so in an experimental way. So like the way I thought about it is, if you guys ever played the old Mavis Beacon typing games, and there's that one where there's like the DNA and you have to type in the words and try to like match up to make like a horse or a deer or something, but you could type them wrong, and Yeah, that's right, Ryan. You can type them wrong. You can make like some weird bastardization of a creature. That was kind of my idea with this. Is like you could theoretically mash these songs together, and it would sound like it wouldn't be out of time, but it wouldn't sound like the same thing. It just kind of be like really all over the place unless you selected the right combination, for lack of a better term, and then it would put them all together. Um, so yeah, so that was cool. As far as sound effects, the little Weaver thing in there, I have a motorized mixing board, like a tiny one in my room, and so all I did is I set 2 or 4 tracks at different volumes. So when I select them in my DAW, it would move the actuator on it back and forth, and then I just recorded that, copy and pasted, cut it up, split it, and then I had an LFO going back and forth, selecting random sense detuning to kind of like randomize it in real time. So that way you can kind of get that sort of thing, but it wouldn't sound the same. And then the last thing, which was kind of cool that I liked, was in the menu theme. I did I took that idea, but the phase, like the synthesizer part at the beginning, I duplicated that. And so the second one, so without getting like super duper nerdy on this, but there's this thing called comb filtering. So if you have 2 phases that are like kind of offset, it will actually like give it this weird textural timbre. It's usually frowned upon in mixing, but I think it sounds cool sometimes. And so for the second synthesizer, I assigned an LFO that kind of moved the phase back and forth. So you got this really subtle like comb filtering effect that makes like the synth part kind of like wow, wow, wow. So I thought that was like a little cool texture, but I think it's not on here. There's a different song, but oh well. I'll post it in the chat for anybody that wants to give it a listen. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for the music side of things, and I'll drop the tune in the chat, the theme song in the chat for anybody who wants to give it a listen.
Yeah, I was saying it was such an audio focused jam this time. Among all the teams, like turned out so good. Okay, then I think we've finally gotten through everything. Thanks for sticking it out, y'all.
Nice.
And thanks for everyone for participating and showing off all your hard work. It was amazing.
Yeah, thanks y'all for sticking it out for like 3 hours or however long we have been here. But it was worth it. I hope everyone got a chance to say something or get a chance to answer questions or get reactions from folks. Yeah, that was a lot of games.
That's definitely a record, I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, I think it was more than last year.
Yeah. And it was in a snowstorm. We had to do remote. Like, this was very difficult, y'all. And it turned out so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't done one of these before, usually we do it like in person and it runs smoother and all that. So definitely come to our next events. We're gonna have a social in February, social event. You can just come, you can bring your friends, whatever. 3rd Monday, is that right?
Yes.
3rd Monday of February, and you can get people to like really play your games more in person. So definitely come out to that. Yeah, thanks, y'all.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Night.
Yeah.
Night, everybody. Great work.
And
Great
thanks,
game.
Oscar from the workshop for running.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Not everyone.